opinion, I'm right.
I think Ali's. You're just not giving him enough. Anyway, it is going to be Hats giving Ricky more than enough there to trade early on, and that's a two-man advantage. Gyro going to be left solo over towards long. Renegades deciding where to go for the mid-round, and it might just be B.
Force Bite, that is once again getting the job done, but this time it's the return Force Bite from Renegades, now picking up an additional scout. The crunch on mid in response from Order is perfect.
Oh.
A complete wipeout there. As Order just come in and take a couple of duels. Don't want to get into any of those mid-round situations, any of those timings. Let the T's get comfortable.
Got dicey.
Definitely did.
Great little recovery.
Yep.
Well, it's a better start to the map here for Order than what they faced on Mirage. Not that that's entirely difficult.
Max going fishing. Is that on the bingo card?
Max going fishing.
Yeah, no, fishing.
He just did the fishing. He was doing the fishing gestures.
Trying to fish pills.
That is not on the bingo card, unfortunately.
All this information. You know, School of Fish running out mid there in Order. Happily put their nets out.
God left.
Great catch.
Give me that.
Not as dangerous as the show.
Just to let you guys know, 2 people have now finished their bingo card.
Who? How?
Ethan and Ash.
How have not everyone finished the bingo card?
Finished it. Well, how do you finish it though? You just
You
get one line.
get a bingo.
Oh, you just have to be watching and notice something that happens?
Well, that's, yeah.
You just get one line, right? Oh, hold on.
Everyone has a different bingo card, by the
Oh,
way.
okay.
Oh, I
Long,
didn't
long
know
take
that.
here. Oh, that is just domination from Renegades. Hats has just killed them all on the entry. That's what we'd expect from him, though. Oh, hold on. The mid-round push. Almost there from Gyro. Almost had the timing. Okay, so all of the bingo cards are different.
Yes.
Therefore, I can complain.
Yeah, no one said anything about that until now.
We got a rigged bingo card, which just sucks.
Yes.
Everyone else
Yeah.
got a PogChamp bingo card that they got to make themselves.
Yeah, I bet all the other bingo cards said things like someone bought a grenade. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. On Ash's one, there's casters go silent for an extended time. When has that ever happened?
I don't feel like we've
Don't feel like that's happened, Ash, so we might have to retract that one.
extended time.
Extended time. Please
Yeah.
define. Gonna need an official ruling on
Yep.
that one from Liga. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Bias.
Bias admins. Well, look at that. Renegades with a perfect gun round to get back in the game and manage to equalise that economy.
She's also greened Pilski resting on their laurels, which he hasn't said, by the way.
I
He
didn't say
said
there.
resting on my laurels. So, objection!
different laurels, you know.
She said she's not listening to us. So that means she's not even watching the game. Basically, what you're saying is, Ash, you cheated. So can we just get you out of this game? That's 100 push-ups. Thank you very much.
That is compromised integrity in a role which you need to have nothing but integrity.
And I'm just going to say, I also need to see Ethan's bingo card before I can validate his victory.
That was just a very pog round, by the way.
Good.
Hats got a 3K through a smoke and set him up for victory. Went very well for Renegades.
That's
did
not on the
mention
card.
that.
That's not on
I
the
did
card.
see that. I did mention that. Very nice.
Jordan was very distracted.
Oh, well. Sometimes that happens.
Yes. Particularly when he's sitting across from you, Mac.
Not sure I like that sound.
Huh?
Long take here from Order, but it's the late long take. They tried to flash Hats out. He had a lot of success last time, quite the opposite this time around, but Renegades will just leave him behind. They're going to go straight up catwalk, but Ricky flanking with an AWP. Alistair's in front of them with an AWP. Ricky's behind them with an AWP. And you can see they're running into some issues.
Oh. Ali, third time's the charm. Dexter drops into CT. It looks like that's going to be the reroute as the peaks start to come through, but it's an ultimate crossfire here for Order. As Sicko tries to fight his way out, it is not going to work for him, and that is going to be 4 on the board for Order. Renegades find themselves a second, but cannot double down.
Well, it's definitely fighting hard.
This game's getting interesting. CT economy starting to build up, but there's another buy yet for Renegades. One more for Order, and they are starting to look comfortable.
Renegades Boosting hands up on the boxes, waiting. Leave it in there to punish any aggression in bedroom, which may just happen later on in the round. For now, at mid, Ricky, very aggro early. Takes that util out from Hats. As Dexter, he's in that smoke, tanking it. Barrel spotted. Val is forced to take that shot as well. But with the Famous, the inaccuracy plays a huge factor there.
It won't be too happy.
Into a 3-on-1 in the opposite direction as Sicko is 25. And a very sharp shot to kick things off in this 1-on-3. Get ready to mark this one off on your bingo card, Jordan, because it looks like it could be happening
It's
soon.
not on mine, it's on Turtles. Just another example of a rigged bingo card, that's all I'm going to say. But it does require Sicko winning this 1-on-3, and that's a big nade.
He's got no armor.
Yeah, no armor at all, and that'll be probably the end of his chances, but might still be able to make this work. Great shot onto Usillo. Alistair, he's got an AWP in hand. The HP doesn't matter. He's trying to go for the jumping AWP kill.
I have no idea how low Sicko is right now. Sicko's scoped in at the ready for this peak. Missed that opportunity. Secondary comes through, and Ali stifles the chances of Turtles bingo card, but also the chances of Renegades to slide back another round. Very, very close, but again, a costly one. Orders, economy now. Will be hitting 0 after the bite.
All I'm going to say is that's what you get for rigging the bingo cards.
Not really building up that money, unfortunately, for Order as it comes down to a 1v1. Ricky, must I say, by the way, that is not easy to do with an M4. That was sharp as hell. Turning around that very dire situation. 3-on-5 comes down to a 1-on-1.
Oh, and Ustillo, fully blinded. Running accuracy, a factor there with the A1S, but Gyra doubles it up nice and quickly against the Deagles from Renegades.
Yeah, they were looking for some damage in this round, but so far haven't gotten any. This could be where Order starts to pull ahead a little bit on the CT side here.
Well, it's a much better start for Order. Ricky's also going to grab himself another frag. He's been having a good map so far. Hats turns around to try and deal with him, but the Deagle shot's not quite connecting at the moment, and he's now solo for Renegades. Ricky just decides after seeing Valiant's head go flying off that he's not interested anymore. I'll just go back up here, thank you very much.
Dangerous spot to play from in Hats. He's left that bomb behind. Interested in the rifle instead, but all he'll find is that he's dead. Ricky says, see you later. An Order secure a 6th up against Renegades 2 whole rounds so far in D2. That could change right here, right now.
It's a very different feel as well to Inferno, where everything was going right for Order. They have definitely been tested here on Dust 2, but they are showing some resilience. Something I haven't seen from them so far this game. Aggression from Alistair. The flick's a little off. And unfortunately, Order will lose the man advantage yet again. Something that previously they were able to recover from. And again, Gyra is going to take a risk to try to overcome that man disadvantage. Shadow advantage. How has Inns done that? How many dinks in a row was that through the wood? That's disgusting.
Not a lot you can do against that, right?
That should just be a free kill for the CT every day of the week.
Sicko, aware of the potential close-range engagement waiting for him there at doors. However, Renegades routing their way up short instead. An Order, if they don't get a wriggle on, make this flank happen, then the retake will be so much harder as well. Inns still waiting at long, so there is a chance for this flank to have a huge amount of influence. However, They've missed that opening. Could have maybe caught Renegades in transition if they followed suit quickly.
This is going to be a rough one for Order. I mean, can you even retake with no util on the A-bomb site? I don't think this is possible. They have to save. And they will. Stilo's not going to get away with his life. Maybe this is the turning point. Renegades have just won a clean round. They're going to force the reinvestment from Order. One more round for Renegades, and then Order's back onto an eco again.
Val saved himself a bit of money there. Picking up the Molotov in Upper Dark, as well as a upgrade to the AK, which he can use to hold that B site. And with the 2 rifles carried forward, ooh, the money is still not looking good. That 3rd rifle would have been so much nicer for Order if they managed to get it across.
Oh, that is filthy.
Ince couldn't even see him.
Reacting to the spray that came out.
He's played this game before.
A couple times. Very quick catwalk control there from Renegades.
With a nade stack just short. Dodged nicely by the 2 players in this position.
Gyro's got no util to hold HUD anymore. They've taken long control and they've kind of just left him out there on an island and lost short. This is a very sketchy position from Order, to be honest. Alistair's got 1 smoke. Gyro's got no util. If Renegades split A here, this round's probably just over.
Gyro will take the challenge on long, and he does a good job of it. Alistair not able to help out with a flash or anything, so Gyro is left on an island on his own, which makes it too easy for Dexter to trade down. And now that pressure that was on Gyro starts to encroach in onto Alistair. He's trying to peer around the smoke, but he hasn't been able to see too much. Dexter seems to have spotted him, and a good flash came through.
Wow.
But Hats decides now is the time to strike, and there goes a couple of Order players. Looking to save their guns. Valiant and Ricky, once again, will just have to slink away into the shadows.
That's actually saved that round by killing the CT on the headshot line from short. I think Alistair was about to multi-frag there. Even so, Order made that look a lot more competitive than I thought it would be. They had chances to actually win that round there when, I mean, just looking at the utility and the positioning of the players, you wouldn't have thought they'd be able to do it.
What's Ricky up to at the moment? Looking for some exit frags. Doesn't quite get it. Malta around the corner just in time.
Order have definitely shown some more resilience in this game, which is something I've been wanting to see from them, but it's not going to be enough. Here is where actually, as this half gets closer and closer and we end up something closer towards 8-7 or 9-6 or something like that, it puts a premium on Order yet again to make something happen on their T side, which is something that they've just really struggled with this grand final. So that's another trend they're going to have to break here on Dust 2, regardless of how this half turns out at this point.
Again. We are going to see Renegades looking for this mid control this time. However, look at that movement from Malta. He knew that Ricky could have progressed his way up mid. It is going to be the pincer approach, and Dexter finds the double. Val goes down on short as well.
Yeah, it was that one important round that Renegades needed that now has led them to the position they're in now.
Oh, the CTs might have just found the perfect position. However, Ali, he's only got that USB to play with, and if he gets caught in transition here, it's awkward. He hasn't been spotted by Hats here, however, and it's not going to be hard cleared. There is a chance. Oh, he looks and checks the corner.
Spider sense tingling just a second there for Hats, and he goes, maybe I should check the corner.
He did see him, that's the thing, but I think he had his eyes on the minimap or something.
Well, maybe Malta might have said, maybe he was watching the POV.
Ooh, big nade. Gyro follows up. 1 on 4.
Oh, no way.
Blank coming through from Ince. They know that he has to be in that smoke. And Ince checks it with his bullets. And he'll find not only the kill, but the round as well.
Good way to check it.
America.
Okay. Bit
Wow.
bit political, but all right.
What do you mean? I didn't make that political.
I too like that country, Jordan. Great country.
Yep. Just wouldn't want to go there right now.
Man, usually it's Jordan reining us in, but here we go. Times have changed.
Holes are digging.
There's a bit of a hole that Order have found themselves in as well.
The
Couple of
scoreboard,
smokes,
scoreboard
few
might tell you
flashes.
Order's doing okay, but the momentum is very much in Renegade's favor right now.
Yep.
Hmm.
Aggression on upper dark and short simultaneously from Order. See if they found some good timings here.
Nasty. Okay, Gyra with one. It's a good damage to Hats as well, so starting to weaken up the Renegades now as Dexter makes his way ambitiously through mid, but it works. One onto Ricky as Ali as well. Might have just been in the bait, but even still, we'll trade it through. Now, 3v2. Order looking to fight their way back in. Ustillo from sight, just waiting for his teammates to come through, and it's a nice line found. They know that Sicko's at long. 1 on 3 again. How does he fare this time? He's got some armor, but he cannot see a damn thing. Val flashes for Ali to swing through, and it's the perfect moment to keep Order in the lead.
Great flashes.
Yeah, excellent response from Order, but it's not enough to get them back on top just yet. They're up 2 rounds, but Renegades will be able to buy back in.
That was very cute from Gyro, by the way. Order went aggressive on the short setup, and Gyro just hit it blue bin the entire time. So Renegades think, short setup, third player's on site, surely. Nope. Hiding behind the blue bin. More short aggression is a 1-for-1. And gives Renegades catwalk control, a very important part of Dust 2.
Yeah, the cost of one of their players, though. Still, you'll take that, I'd say, as the T side. The rest of the boys are locked behind the smoke on B. Starts to feel a little bit Inferno-esque from Renegades on the T side right now, with Malta isolated from the rest of the squad, trying to cause a ruckus and maybe deal with the rotations, while the others wolf pack into a site, and that's not a bad way to start the push into B, and I'd say probably end the round as well. Malta might look for some exits here. Order's money is not good at all, so getting rid of Gyra and Alistair's guns would be quite useful indeed.
There you go, Ash. There's your extended silence.
Was that really extended?
Extended?
I counted to 10.
You counted to 10 in that time?
Well, it wasn't 10 seconds. I just counted to
Congratulations,
10.
Mac.
you know?
I was going to say, you count pretty fast.
I didn't know you could do that. That's an achievement.
Most CS casters wouldn't be able to do that. Okay.
Mac usually just goes with the round score on his fingers.
It's the easy way to do it, you know. I told you.
Just from half to half. He resets at the half.
What happens if someone scores more than double digits?
Don't talk about it.
Don't leak my secrets.
Gotta go to the toes.
That's why these scorelines have been so close lately.
Quick one straight out B. 3 players here for Order, but most of them are blind and don't have primary weapons, except for Alistair.
Well,
Yeah.
doesn't have one anymore. Gyra was on the site, maybe it's a different round, but Renegades read the situation pretty well. Knew that they'd be up against a weaker bite. Gyra's going to go through and give this one a crack anyway. Renegades will have to face a bite next round regardless. So doesn't seem too interested in giving any extra frags to Renegades though.
The Zoking 5-7?
No. Nope. The Zoking 5-7 can be utilized by Zoking only.
Oh, okay. It's a special one.
Mm-hmm.
What skin is that? Do you reckon?
I don't know.
We'll have to check later.
Yeah. I think it's a white one. if I just had to make a guess from what I saw last time. Just something's telling me it was one of the white 5/7 skins.
Okay.
I don't know what those are called.
Whiteout?
The only 5/7 skin I know is the banana one.
Banana.
Yeah, that one was sick.
Funky business.
Yeah, that one. I had that one.
I've got the copper, something copper.
Copper Galaxy.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys know so much about skins.
I
Wow.
actually don't really.
I know that there is new skins, there's new gloves, and there's new player skins as well. Now with masks on their faces.
Masks, yes, that's what we'll call them.
Yes.
I have a different word for those things.
Yeah. I have a different use for them, actually. Anyway, bit of a slow round for Renegades.
You'll know when you grow up a little bit.
You talking about the one guy with a stocking on his head?
Huh?
No, that's not a stocking. All right, anyways. Mag 7 here, so we might get a chance at a shotgun kill for the bingo card.
I'm ready. Come on, Gyra. Last round of the half. Let's give us a bit of bingo. 1-3-1 for Renegades. Sicko finds the pick onto Ustillo in middle, which will put a little bit more pressure on the defense. Now Ricky is out on an island at the B site with no support.
Rough position to be in. Missed opportunity from Ali. Obviously, one of the harder shots to hit. Now we do see the double A setup on site. Jara still looking to dominate long with that Mag 7. If the A site hold goes down, well, he's not going to have too much influence at all in the round. Flash out mid for Dexter, who's looking to try to bait this mid to B situation. But Ricky, he's pushing into upper dark. He's finding all the information in the world, and the info says that there is no one here at all. And Ali now stands in their way, finds one but not the second, and takes a lot of information away. And the focus was not there on Val, but the molly certainly was to force him out into the open. And good luck to you, my man Gyra.
Gyra retaking from long with a Mag 7. Absolute insanity. But can he do it? Can he get the bingo card? Cross it off if he gets the kill. Well, this is not going to be easy. Getting some help from Ricky, who's tagging Dexter down a bit. Oh no, he's opted for the USP. That's just going to show how bad that situation was for him, that he decides he would rather use the USP than his primary weapon. But anyway, 8-7 at the end of the half. Renegades have done a good job to salvage it. We'll see if they can complete the 3-0 sweep when we do come back for the second half. Wow, Mac, he's stolen your water bottle. Whoa, he stole your water bottle.
Crazy!
You told me you broke it.
I did. See, I got a brand new one right here, which you guys at home can't see, but it's big and it's blue and it's filled of water and probably some other bits and pieces that you guys at home don't really want to be touching.
Okay, that's interesting. Anyway, we'll scoot right on past that one. It's another 8-7 scoreline. Sort of came about in a different way, though, but Renegades are the ones in the lead once again. This time they'll move on to the CT side of Dust 2. Quick pop flash through the mid doors is going to keep Order slowed down quite substantially. And that gives Malta some room to work on short. Bit of a challenge initially, but Malta's going to win that one, getting Ricky's head for free. Now Inns at the stairs, bulldozed by Alistair, and there'll be a rotation called by Malta, who definitely needs some backup. Or maybe he doesn't. He's hitting everything. That's a great shot. 2 kills from Malta. And headshots everywhere, being handed out for free by Renegades right now. Valiance doesn't want one, but he's going to get one as well. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Renegades feeling generous, and they get themselves the pistol.
That was some smooth tracking from Malta. Did you see that? He set that one up. He was tracking him the whole way across.
Very interesting. I remember when Urcast used to sit in that spot, and he conveniently had a Word.exe on him PC. So maybe Malta's getting a bit of assistance from that.
What are you talking
Get out
about?
of here!
Don't you remember that video Greyhound made where Urcast was using Word? Was it
Oh
Urcast?
yeah, that's right.
That was funny. Those were funny videos. I think Renegades should keep doing them.
Will?
Well, Jordan, you know what? I got the whole Office package on my PC.
All I'm going to say is, where there's a will, there's a way. If you're listening, Mr. Grey.
Okay. So there's a game happening.
There is, yes.
Order, they don't have anything though. They're about to get farmed by MP9s probably. Or the Scout.
Awesome Scout Squad, rise up. Perfect chance for Sicko if Dexter doesn't kill everyone before they get into the A bomb site. To be honest, it's probably better that Inns and Dexter start to get that ball rolling in mid, because mid was a pain point actually that Order tried to utilize in the last series. Hasn't worked out too nicely this time. And Renegades get themselves to the double digits.
Dexter says nope. Jumping up, making sure he was hitting every single bullet in midair with the MP9. One of the guns with the highest jumping accuracy, as you guys at home surely know. And in to the 18th we go. 3-round lead for Renegades, starting strong on the defense, but Order looking to fight back now.
First buy round. This is where the T side needs to start going well. So far, it is not going well. Sicko has strafed across mid and 1-beat Alistair. 5 seconds into the round. Dexter's pushed lower. Luckily dealt with nicely by Valiance. Good flash out from Gyra as well off the lower stairs there. So a 1-for-1. Definitely a situation Order can navigate through. They still have a control of a lot, and that is a nice play out middle as well.
There'll be a pretty quick response, though, from Renegades. It's actually Inns going through the smoke. Won't see too much there and can turn his attention back toward the A bomb site. A good decision because Malta is dead, and Inns is going to have to do the lion's share of the work. Flashing himself back up, but doesn't see too much more going on, and we'll hear that rotation away. So now it's going to be Hats' turn, and he's actually not heard anyone in the B-bomb site just yet. Ustilla gets across for free. Nice little peek though.
Oh.
And Hats gets 2 with the MP9. How has he been allowed to do that? And Ricky, still over on long, is thinking, why me? Why does it have to be me?
Well, he's got some time to play with and knows that Ints is aware of his position. So Renegades will establish a very solid crossfire from Upper Dark and Heaton. Now that smoke at least will block off one of the angles, but that allows Ints to play around inside of it or even on top of it.
Yeah, not what he's looking for. He wanted to smoke off Upper Dark, unfortunately. Did not hit that, and now he's given Inns a bit of a one-way.
Okay. Ricky's still managed to thread the needle for now,
8
but
seconds.
Hats is on the line. Surely spotting this one. No. Okay, minimal time remaining. Hats, he's trying to get back to Upper Dark, and there's no time to plant. Hats just barely scraping away.
That was a headshot from Ricky through the side of the wall. That was a one bullet, I think.
So close yet so far. Renegades are going to win the round. It's costly, but in the context that they didn't upgrade any of their guns, it's totally acceptable. And they get an even better buy now. So good news for Renegades. Not so good for Order.
Timeout from them. That should have been their round, but some heroics from Hats, who has been on some pretty good form. He's had on and off maps. Seen a couple of off maps this tournament from him. But for the most part, he has been showcasing some pretty fantastic form. In those anchor rolls, the multi-frags have been exquisite. The entry fragging has been great. Saw that 3K earlier, straight out long. I know Mac was pretty excited about that.
I certainly was. Crazy 3K, unable to see his opponents.
Oh, that's disgusting.
What?
This is also equally as disgusting. That's just talent.
There was a pixel on Sicko's screen.
Awesome scout squad.
Rise up.
Not crazy, regardless. As Order look to run away from the nades and wait for that smoke to fade. If they do go for long control again. Minimal to play with in the round. Ricky saving that AK from the previous, leaving him with nothing in the tank. Let's see if Gyro and Ali can maybe just jump out, draw the attention that's necessary, and give some space for Ricky here. Second man through, but Ricky, post on the line, re-peek not coming in just yet. Bell and Ustillo going to be spotted, making their way up short as Ricky finally makes his way out long. Headshot found, and now there might be a chance in the round, but it's a 4v2. And it's a very big ask for Order to get much more done in this one. Dexter deals with Ustillo effectively, and now Sicko just hides in the corner, waiting for that swing to come in from Inns, but Sicko does it all himself.
How has he won that? He's happy with himself. Cheeky little grin.
He's always been good with that P250. That used to be the Sicko's special when he was on Order.
I think it's been his special for a very, very long time.
He would shoot someone with the AWP, and then he'd pull out the P250 and start running at you.
All of a sudden, the lead has ballooned out quite substantially, and Order might be facing much the same problem that they had on Inferno. Well, Dexter holding on to mid. He did have a rough time against Order, even though it was a 16-4 win for Renegades on that map. They did continually try to push into mid. This time going for something a little different, hiding in the smoke. Didn't really do a whole lot of that in the upper bracket final. But Dexter will not fall for that trick just yet. Galleon's around the corner though. Does net himself a nice headshot, and Hats again in that anchor roll you like to talk about, Pilsky. Have a bit of work to do, and he's done it well. Opens the door up for Inns, and it is back to the 3-on-3. Hats continues to hang on to the B site, and Malta also chimes in with one. So that's worked out perfectly for Renegades. Again, it's Ricky, who has to try and win a 1-on-3.
That first shot that Hats hit from window down to outside CT was absolutely crazy.
In some excellent form. You love to see it. I have to say, in this grand final, I don't think there's been any weak link for Renegades. All 5 of them performing pretty excellently. And I'd say that's going to be a freebie for Hats to close it out as well. 13-7. Order's money a bit shaky. Haven't seen too much on this T side once again.
Yeah, 3 rounds away from securing 10 tournaments in a row, Renegades, this year in ANZ. That's nearly one a month. There has been dominance, and it continues to be dominance. There's been some hiccups, there's been some speed bumps, but there hasn't been any real car crashes, has there? They certainly haven't totaled it. It's looking like they might just walk it in here on Dust 2. Order need to lift on the T side.
For the half buy now. Handful of smokes and grenades to work with. But again, I mean, it's been pretty much the same T side almost every map, I feel. Very slow pace from Order. Really like to see them play a bit more up-tempo.
Not going to get that in this round, Pilski. Very slow pace again being brought by Order. Renegades are more than happy to oblige. They've got all the util they need to just slowly whittle this round away. Still got a couple of HE nades there for ins and hats. Could be pretty useful in defending mid. They know that Order's out there.
This was a strat that worked for Order before, but Dexter's cottoned onto it. Dribble smoke out of upper tunnel, 2 mid smokes out, but you can see that Dexter's seen that before. Remember when that worked for them?
Yeah.
Dexter remembers.
He's going to come in to aid Hats, who certainly needs his help after falling down. The flash comes through to slow them, and look at that damage. Just so much done already. Ustillo unable to get anything done there with that Tech 9, and Renegades find themselves a 14th round. And are very close to making this look like a very convincing W in the grand final.
Really does feel like the wind has gone out of the sails of Order. They had 7 awesome rounds on Inferno, but beyond that point, it's been Renegades to control this matchup for the majority. 2 pieces of util into bedroom. Incendiaries, and Malta will take a bit of a peek in. In fact, he's actually aggressed into bedroom now as well. Ricky hasn't seen him. So a bit of a different setup this time from Renegades. They're giving up a lot of control on long and leaving that on the shoulders of Malta. So the rest can focus in on towards short, on towards mid, which is not a bad time. Perhaps bad timing, but even still wins the duel. Malta also got Ricky on long. Dex is hiding in the corner, waiting for his teammates to back him up. Good play from Renegades here. And continuing to make it look easy right now. 5 guns alive against 2. 14-7 the scoreline, and Order losing all of their chances on Dust 2. It's just disappeared. It'll be match point, series point for Renegades in just a moment, one would imagine. Dexter through the smoke, if he finds the timing, waits for it to fade, and will come up behind Ustillo and Alistair. Gets a freebie onto Alistair, and we'll look for the frag onto Ustillo as well in just a moment. Pops his head up, quick tap, back on down. Game of whack-a-mole right now that he's playing, but it's Inns that secures it, and that is 15 for Renegades, and they're 1 map away from 10 tournament wins in 2020.
Honestly, I thought Melbourne was out of lockdown, but Renegades really just bringing the lockdown to Order again. They're having some bad flashbacks right now.
Attack pause from Order. Another T side that has fallen flat, not a single round. 7 in a row from Renegades. There's been no weak link on this team in this grand final. All of them performing across the board. Earlier this year, you know, we were talking, oh, maybe Malta or Hats or Siko might be having a quiet tournament. Not this time, not in this grand final.
No. Malta's had a relatively good competition, all things considered. Picking up the slack where which might have been left by a few of the players you'd expect to be doing a whole lot more heavy lifting, but here in the grand final, everyone from Renegades, extremely impressive performance. Faster approach up short this time. Hats in the corner just waiting for a bust through.
He's getting aggressive up catwalk though. Going to be playing behind that progression smoke. Perfect HE nade onto Valiance. Does a lot of chip damage, and he's going to fall back into the site position. 3 flashes and 2 smokes to try to get into that A site and get this A split working for them here. Renegades has far superior utility to Order this time around. Hats is itching for the flank, and he's going to get it as well.
It's a great start for Renegades, but pegged back just a little bit by Ustillo.
Malta fighting from the pit. And Ricky late out long will suffer the same defeat. In's finally able to use this one way he's been waiting for. All tawny, but even so, we'll go forward. It's a 1-for-1 though. Ali, he saved order a few times this series, and can he do it again? 1v3 now, but he's on 24 HP. Bullets coming towards him as well. That's 3 CTs rather, and Sicko mops him up with the P250. That is the game. That is the grand final, and Renegades do it again.
16 on the board for Renegades, and they will stamp their mark on ANZ CS history. 10 tournaments in a row. They are the victors this year, and they are the most dominant team in ANZ CS history. We'll take a short break, and then we'll come back for an interview and a bit of a chat about that one, but it just seems to be a bit of Renegades magic. As if there were ever any doubt, Renegades once again, they are going to reiterate their position as the #1 team in ANZ. And they've done it in quite stylish fashion this year. 10 tournaments in a row for 2020. And while they've been locked in ANZ, they have certainly thrived in that position. It's been a very interesting year for Renegades in terms of just being able to keep that storyline going. I think they themselves would much prefer to have been going overseas, competing on all of those international tournaments. But you have to deal with what's put in front of you, and Renegades have done a very, very good job of that. Couple of hiccups, though, in this tournament in DreamHack Masters Winter, but at the end of the day, when it really matters, Renegades turns up and makes it look easy in the grand final.
Well, absolutely.
Honestly, you know, the way to get over hiccups is you get a little fright, you know, you get sent to that lower bracket, and that's enough to really stop the hiccups. And that's exactly what we saw. Although, you know, hiccups was slowly stopping yesterday against Avant, but certainly no hiccups at all today. Complete dominance here in the grand final. 3-1, maybe just a 3-0, depending on how you look at this one. The one map advantage to Order, and that's the only map that they got. Really just not showing up here on any of these maps, and Dust too. Wow, that was just domination.
Yeah, it's kind of insane that Renegades almost got knocked out yesterday against Avant and might not have even been in this grand final. Who knows how the hell that would have gone if Order had brought this same level of form up against Avant. I might have even thought that Avant would have a crack at them, to be honest. Either way, woulda, shoulda, coulda, Renegades made it into the grand final, and as opposed to the shaky level of form that they've displayed this tournament, in 1 day's notice, they got their stuff together and they went back to their A-class form, and it did not look close at all. And it's almost a bit sad because I wanted an epic grand final. I was setting this up in my head to be, this should be the biggest challenge ever for Renegades this year so far. They're playing an inform Order with a 1-map disadvantage, and they have to do it to earn that 10 in a row. It was not close, and it did not look too challenging for them, actually. So it almost doesn't feel as epic that they get that 10-0 because it was one of those grand finals where Renegades won without a hitch.
Sometimes I think that's what Renegades kind of needs. They need a little bit of a kick up the bum to say, you know, you do actually need to try a little bit to win some of these games, because sometimes I think they get a little bit lax. They sometimes think, okay, well, we're going to win this easy, and then most of the time they do. But when they don't, they have to go, all right, well, let's have a look back and just see what went wrong, and we'll bring that into tomorrow, which was what happened in this instance. I think it's a good point, Pilsky. Obviously, we continue to reiterate that 10 in a row for Renegades. That is a big, big deal.
It is.
It doesn't feel like a lot because we've just gotten so... What's the word? We've just been so exposed to it over and over and over again. Yeah, we've been conditioned to it, really. And we're just like, oh, well, Renegades won again. But 10 in a row, I don't know any team really in Counter-Strike history that's been able to do that so cleanly.
Oh, not in OC.
Definitely not in OC.
Not in OC, but overseas maybe, but definitely not in OC. That's insane level of dominance, you know, even maybe more than like a Voxy or something like that.
Easily more than a Voxy. Yeah. Because Vox always had team immunity that was sort of there, and there was moments where even immunity might have looked like the #1 team in AU, although you might get thrown from the rafters for saying so. I think this is the most dominant AU CS team we've had ever, including CSGO. Obviously, I don't know that much about 1.6 or Source, but I find it hard to believe that a team would have been doing exactly what Renegades have been able to do at such a high level as well, right? You've got to think about that. Anyway, let's get Malta on the line. I'm sure he's got some interesting thoughts for us. Malta, how are you feeling today, Mr. 10 time? I think you were, what, Mr. 3 time for IEM, so is it time for a new nickname?
No. I think the IEM runs more, you know, closer to my heart than the 10 online tournaments, but obviously it's good to win. I think we won everything this year, which was, you know, the goal, so happy days. Yep,
you did. Congratulations. Look, I'm not going to ask you a Counter-Strike related question. I'm sure Mac and Pilsky have got a couple for you. Just want to know, what's the holiday plans for you? I think you said you were coming back up to Sydney for a little bit.
Yeah, just keen. Get back to the family. Haven't seen them in, I think the last time I saw them was last Christmas, so it'll probably be exactly a year since I've seen them. So it'll be good to get back there. My sister's having a kid, so I'm kind of, you know, missing out on the whole, that experience for the family. So I'm just keen to get back and, you know, have some time off.
I got 2 questions for you. The first of all is a bit of a reflection. You had all of 2020, you won all of the tournaments. Is that any kind of consolidation for what you might have missed out on due to COVID? Obviously, at the start of the year, I'm sure you guys were excited to get overseas and had big plans for boot camps and stuff. Does it feel like a success, or does it feel a bit bittersweet?
It's pretty bittersweet, but I guess it's good, like setting us up for next year, if anything. Just kind of establishing ourselves as still, like, if we win every tournament here, then it probably means that we deserve opportunities overseas. So hopefully, organizers will look at that and I guess make next year what we hoped this year was going to be. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that was my next question pretty much. I just wanted to ask you, not in life, but in CS, what's the New Year's resolution? What are we looking to do next year as Renegades?
I don't know, I guess just maybe take a risk if the opportunity arises for us to, we might have to go travel over there and be in Europe for, 6 months at a time or something like that. And I guess just, I kind of want to just take that risk now after this year that we've had. I think staying here is just going to be bad for everyone in the team. So
What's that?
I think, is that Ins behind you?
Tell him to lower it. It's not in the shot.
It wasn't even in the shot. That was awful. It was a
I
bit dry.
I
Yeah,
think he was
thanks
trying to
for-
bring you a drink, man. You should have
No,
accepted
that was-
that.
Oh, by the
thanks for
way,
actually shipping. Yeah, what?
can I just say, we did notice a little bit of a back and forth between you and Ins in a certain Inferno round. I don't know if you remember,
When?
but there
He
was
got an eco ace with the
there was
MP9.
an eco ace.
Oh,
So
disgusting! I smoked them off, and I'm like, yeah, we'll chill. And Josh's like, woohoo! And then he just goes. And
he just ran through it.
yeah, he's literally Mario doing it today. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Honestly, you look at the scoreboard, you don't see it, but I see it.
Well, that's
That's what
beautiful.
matters.
Well, before I let you, take the stage and say your thanks and, let everyone know exactly what you think of them, do you want to apologise to Ali? Because the amount of times I've watched him get his hopes up in that player cam and you guys just stomp on him every single time, I feel heartbroken for him. Come on, is there an apology out there, or is that just the way the cookie
No.
crumbles?
That's where he's a little cutie. He knows I love him, so it's all right. He'll survive. He'll get through it. I called him precious today. I feel like that's enough.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well, that's it. Any more thanks you want to send out there to anyone?
No, just thanks to all the fans, I guess, and to you guys for sticking. You've been doing the casting and as we've been doing the playing, so you've had a rough year as well. But yeah, thanks for everyone sticking by us.
All right. Well, appreciate it, Malta, and thanks very much for a great year of Counter-Strike. That'll be that, and appreciate the interview as well. Congratulations on 10 from 10.
Easy. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. And that's more or less the year done and dusted for ANZ CS. It's obviously been a great year for Renegades in terms of what they've been able to do. Again, there's always the context that they would have preferred to be playing internationally, but I think there's a certain storyline, like it's a little bit special, I think, in a way, to just get 10 tournament wins in a row, and you're not really going to be able to do that in any other kind of context.
Please give invite. Please give them an opportunity. It's like Walter said, they want to take a risk. Let's see him go over to Europe. He's already said it himself. There's no, oh, maybe they would go, maybe they wouldn't go, maybe it's going to be annoying for the tournament. Please give them a shot. They will definitely do some damage overseas if they're given the chance.
Yeah, so hopefully they do earn themselves an invite very shortly. Other sad news today, the major getting cancelled, first major for next year. So maybe towards the tail end of next year, we will have another major. We've been waiting for one for so damn long, getting all the best teams in the world in one spot. And that could happen, we've got the Global Challenge coming up, and not only that, but we do potentially have some more lands coming up in the earlier parts of next year. I don't know if they're going to happen domestically, but if they do, I really want to be involved in them.
I would suspect that, at least domestically speaking here in Australia, by 2021 we will be in a good spot to have some lands going up and running, but obviously can't speak for the tournament organisers. Either way, having a look back and reflecting on DreamHack Masters Winter, it was a more interesting run for Renegades this time than what we've seen in any tournament in 2021, but they did eventually come away with the victory 3-1 over Order, who, in fairness, has been their closest competition this year. I think if we're doing a little bit of a 2020 recap, I would probably say Renegades easily number 1. Order have been fairly consistently number 2. Avant had their moments, but they would probably be 3rd in my mind for this year. And as far as 4th overall for the year goes, that's a bit more of a difficult discussion. Rooster definitely up there at some points, so would Chiefs. Those would probably be the big 2. Truckers with Attitude were doing pretty well at the start of the year as well, but it's been a year of big 3s, and it's quite interesting because for at least my history in CS, there's always been a big 2 in terms of Vox and Immunity, but once they departed and the new era of players, the new generation of players came through, it was a top 4. Now we're there for a top 3, so what will 2021 present for us? A question that we'll have to answer next year. We're not done just yet, though, because we do have to turn our attention to Asia, and we have that match coming up for you next. So don't go too far away. We'll take a short break here. It'll be Vici Gaming up against Tiger in the grand final of Asia.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
DreamHack Masters Winter is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, Monster Energy, and MSI.
From one grand final to the next, we turn our attention to Asia. We've just seen Renegades defeating Order yet again in the Oceanic Grand Final, and it's time for something a little bit different within the Asian sphere, or maybe not. Vici Gaming and Tiger going head-to-head this time, and that is a grand final matchup that we have seen this year, but it hasn't been one that has been for the majority. Most of the time, it's been Vici and Tyloo, but unfortunately, fellas, Tyloo fell in the lower bracket. That was to Tiger, and now we have the chance, maybe, for something a bit different. I say that because Tiger, well, they could get the upset today, and even if Vici do win, that is technically something a little bit different, but we've seen them winning tournaments before. I'd like to be seeing a good grand final here, though. We didn't quite get that in the grand final of Oceania, and there's a reasonable chance we get that today. Tiger have looked good so far in DreamHack Masters Winter.
They have, yeah. At the same time, though, winning some series over two Chinese teams who have pretty big gaps in the way that they're playing at the moment, or rather, they just beat Tyloo. They didn't play Invictus, right?
Yep.
It was just Tyloo who played Invictus, okay.
Yeah.
Either way, Tyloo definitely going through some stuff at the moment, having some issues. Either way, Vici will be a whole nother level of challenge. They're not a team that's easily upset.
No, and we did see that in the upper bracket final as well. Vici got the victory in that one, 2-1. But there was some good moments for Tiger, and that's been kind of consistently the case during DreamHack Masters Winter. We've seen a lot of the individuals stepping up when they've needed to, and so it gives me some degree of hope.
Yeah, sure. We have seen a lot of great individual performances coming out from these Tiger players. Not even just individually, you know, the coordination in this team is a step above a lot of other teams in this region, and that's really got them to this point, you know, making it through that lower bracket yesterday against Tyloo. It got very scary for a couple of rounds, couple of moments, but they did manage to pull across in the end. And now they get a chance at redemption up against Vici. They managed to take that map earlier on, which was Train in that series, and then Vici obviously making the reverse sweep happen. So we thought, you know, maybe the Mongolians could have caused that upset, but now they've got another shot at doing so. However, it's going to be that one bit harder because Vici only need 2 maps in the grand final. Yes, they come into this with that 1 map advantage coming through the upper bracket. And again, I will go back to Tiger. Yes, they've looked pretty good, but lately Vici have looked even better. So it's going to be a very hard and long-fought battle if Tiger want any chance here in the GF.
Indeed, indeed, and that is going to have to be the way that it is. Sometimes you just got to deal with that. Vici suffered under the rule of Tyloo for such a long time, so now's their chance to really lock in their position as #1 in Asia. Pilsky, for me, I think that's the storyline for Vici today, being able to get a win over Tiger. It should definitely be doable for them. They should be able to begin the year, I should say, and end the year in the same spot, and that would be in first place. As far as Tiger's concerned, though, what's the potential for an upset here in your mind? You've seen them play only the one time against Tyloo, but was there enough there that kind of convinced you that they might be able to beat Vici? Because that's a tough ask.
I don't think so. Not with a 1 map disadvantage. I think they could definitely take maps. They've shown that they have a lot of clutch potential. They've shown that they have a pretty good understanding of how to play these maps. But this is a best of 5 grand final with a 1 map disadvantage against a team with an extremely strong map pool. Vici Gaming definitely knows how to review what their opponent's strengths are and counter them. So having Vici just sitting back, waiting there, watching exactly how Tiger plays, exactly how what Tiger's strengths are and which maps they're confident at and strong at, and being able to prepare a game plan for that. Meanwhile, Tiger have to battle their way through Tyloo, a team that plays completely differently to Vici Gaming. It's not going to be an easy task. However, as you can see for Tiger, they've been having some pretty good success lately, and they have at least played Vici a couple of times, so there is some familiarity there.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a chance. Something that I do want to touch on as well is on the bingo cards. There's a square which is like if Vertigo's played, you know, you can mark that one off. And that's probably not going to get marked off because as far as I can tell, Tiger instantly just get rid of Vertigo because they've got no chance up against Vici.
I tell you what, Pilsky, maybe that's a good question for Nine, who we have ready for an interview. So, g'day, Nine. I don't think we've ever spoken, so welcome to the desk. It's good to have you here. Let's touch on Vertigo. You guys don't like that map?
Yeah, we just don't like it. You know, with the previous roster, we also didn't play Vertigo, so we're not really comfortable on that map. So we're just gonna ignore that map.
Is there a reason for that, or it's just the map that you guys have decided you're not fans of?
Well, not particularly any reason for like ignoring that map, but we just want to focus on the other 6 maps a lot more than Vertigo. So that's the reason for now. So maybe in the future we might play.
So I had 2 questions for you, Nine. Just touching on the map pool, you're already talking about it. How do you think you're going to go against Vici? They have a very, very strong map pool. You have a 1 map disadvantage. Do you think that your team, being a new roster, is consistent enough to play all of the maps in a grand final like this against a team that's been together for ages?
Well, you know, obviously Vici is the team to beat here. So we're just gonna try and do our best. Yeah, we're sure we're gonna win this like 3-0 easy reverse sweeper.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
we're not putting any pressure on ourselves. So
Cool.
we're just trying to play our game.
I wanted to ask you about one more thing. I noticed on train, actually, even though you're the primary AWPer, you were playing inside the ladder room with the rifle. Is that something you're comfortable just switching up, playing rifle to AWP, or is it maybe just a map-dependent thing that Coolast sometimes like to take the AWP and play that instead?
Yeah, I mean, we're both comfortable enough with switching our roles. He used to be the primary AWPer in his previous team, so if he's feeling the AWP, I can give it to him and I can just go rifle.
Yeah, well, that works out. And look, I just want to talk about the mentality as well. So obviously you've taken out Tyloo twice, which is a huge achievement in itself. But obviously Vici and Tyloo, they have completely different game styles. Do you guys feel more confident when you play a more chaotic team like Tyloo, or more confident when you play the structure of Vici?
Well, I used to think playing Vici was a bit more like easier. I mean, because you know, playing against Tyloo, you know somebody who's just you never know where he's gonna come out. So
yeah,
playing Vici is a bit more easier, but I guess the results don't show that.
All right, well, it's going to be a tough game, I'm sure, for you guys today. We'll leave it there for you, Nine, and wish you the best of luck. We're looking forward to an epic grand final.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Interesting again to hear from another voice on the side of Tiger. And I like that question, Pilski, about Coolest and Nine sort of throwing the AWP around, because that is something that we've seen quite a lot from Tiger. Seems like actually one of their biggest assets, to be honest. The fact that if one of them's off, the other one can have a good crack and
see, it's
make it work.
It's not a thing that usually happens, not because you know, you don't play in teams with primary AWPers. Actually, on a team that I played on, we actually ended up having 3 people who primary AWPed on their previous team, and it was a nightmare because they were much weaker on the rifle. But the difference is that Nine showed no weakness on the rifle there. Coolast has shown pretty strong performances on the rifle. So it seems like it's so strong because they can jump around, not because they're both proficient at AWPing, but because they're actually both proficient at rifling. Usually primary AWPers, you know, sometimes a little bit weaker on the rifle.
Well, a good example of that as well is obviously jumping regions back over to Oceania, but, you know, Noobster as of late just really showing us exactly what he's capable of on the rifle. So, you know, it's not out of the realms of possibilities for these AWPers to do that. You know, there's many AWPers, especially in the Oceanic region, that have had to do that across time. And even, you know, look at Tyloo, the amount of AWPers they have on that team that are all forced to rifle because you don't want to pick up too many AWPs most of the time. It's another situation exactly the same.
I must say as well, by the way, Nine speaks excellent English.
Yeah.
And I know that there is some Asian players out there that speak very, very good English, but might be too shy to come in for an interview. Please, we want to talk to you guys. We want to ask you questions about your team. We've watched you for so many tournaments. I'd love to have a chat to a few of the lads who are comfortable speaking English. Maybe not comfortable on camera, though. That's okay, I guess.
It's a good point. I think I was asking Urcast about that. I said, did any of your other teammates speak good English? And he mentioned Nine, I think, might have lived in the US or somewhere that speaks English for a little while. So I don't know if that's 100% correct, but I think there's a reason why Nine can speak such good English. He's been in and around English languages for a little while. Anyway, we have to talk about Vici as well, and it's a fairly important topic because they are very likely to be the #1 team at the end of DreamHack Masters Winter once we do see this grand final get underway. And it's such a disaster of a year, I want to say, for Vici, you know, because I almost feel like they could have had a Renegades-esque run, but for their own mental issues against Tai Lu that seem to just completely stymie their chances a lot of the time in these grand finals.
But once Tai Lu starts having mental issues of their own, we're back on an even playing field apparently, and Vici has shown that they are actually the better team as of late.
And look, coming into this grand final, there's no Tai Lu to have the mental issues against,
No.
so that could play a huge factor.
And here's the thing, right? Vici Gaming, you know, Tai Lu is a team where we've even seen them play teams like Beyond and really struggled. We've seen them struggle against underdogs because they have a high variance playstyle. That's not the same thing for Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming takes underdogs and they dismantle them, they destroy them because they have such strong structure and a very, very strong in-game leader. And not only that, right, usually Vici Gaming is the team where they have to play through the lower bracket every single time. It draws away a little bit from their preparation, you know, which is going to be taxing. You have to play the games on top of doing the preparation. That's a lot of hours invested in Counter-Strike for a couple of those Vici players, which maybe that might be a bit of fatigue once you end up in these best-of-5 grand finals. Whole different story once you have the day off to prepare, to look at how the other team plays, to make the game plan, and then you come in a little bit fresher on grand final day.
Not a luxury, obviously, that Tiger's been able to have, so they are going to have to really come into this one. I think what's important is, A, getting a good map early on in the map pool, and B, obviously converting that map and starting to get a bit of that momentum. Now, in my mind, that's probably going to be Train. Mac, that seems like the map that they have really been angling towards throughout the entirety of DreamHack Masters Winter, and that seems like the most solid chance for them. Deeper into the map pool, and we know how strong Vici's map pool generally is considered within the Asian region, it's going to be a difficult task for Vici here, for Tiger, I should say, today.
Yeah, we might get to see, you know, a bit of variance, you know, compared to the other day. I'm hoping we could see some overpass, but again, that could just be like that leftover map, which Vici's just going to take for granted. Of course, we're probably not going to see that Vertigo, unfortunately, which I'd love to see. I would, because Vici's Vertigo has been so damn good to watch. But Tiger, it's the insta-ban, so that's not going to be a possibility.
Yeah, it would have to be a big curveball from Tiger, you know, maybe some sort of 5-head pocket strat that they've been holding on to for quite a while. And
well, even in the interview, it didn't sound like there was many pocket strats.
Hey, but that could be
what
a
do you
bait.
mean? He sounded so confident. He said in the exact words, easy 3-0 reverse sweep.
Yeah, well, maybe not on Vertigo.
That was what Knight said. You were listening?
No, I must have switched off for that, that statement.
That's what he said. There you go.
Having a look at the Tiger map pool, it's a bit unfortunate for them that obviously Dust 2 is the perma veto for Vici, but I guess fair is fair, right? In a sense, both teams are getting two birds with one stone with their veto. They get rid of the map that they don't like, and they take away one of their opponent's better maps.
I'll tell you what we could see today. Nuke.
Yes,
Vici
we definitely will.
Tiger. That's going to be a banger. Finally, someone that can maybe take Vici right to the ropes.
It's kind of interesting, right? Because I feel like Vici and Tiger overlap in map pool quite a bit.
do, yeah.
Very strong on Nuke, both of them. Very strong on Train, both of them. But it's when we start to get a bit deeper into the map pool where, yeah, previously Vici was struggling on Overpass, but they put a lot of work into it recently, and Tiger's looking a bit shaky on that map.
Well, since we are talking about the vetoes, we might as well just start getting into that discussion proper.
Yep.
Let's bring up the vetoes here, because I think there's probably two very
Dust 2 and Vertigo. See you
expected
later.
vetoes. So yeah, Dust 2 Vertigo gone. Now, this is where things get interesting, right? If you're Vici or if you're Tiger, what's the mentality going in here in terms of changing up the map pool at all? I suspect Tiger will want to go towards the Train. I suspect Vici will want to go towards the Inferno. I think it's actually deeper that gets more interesting.
I mean, I would like to see Inferno or Overpass. I would honestly actually like to see Overpass from Vici Gaming. I know that they've put a lot of work into that because they've had to overcome the massive streak that Tai Lu, they beat them like 6-1 on it until recently when Vici started to turn that around. So, like you said, Jordan, there's two very clear maps that Vici Gaming should be picking in this series, which is Inferno and Overpass. As for Tiger, the issue is that their very strong maps are also very strong for Vici Gaming, and if they want to go towards Vici's weaknesses, then they have to go towards Mirage or something like that, which is not actually that good for Tiger either. So really, this is the issue with this map pool, right? Vici's one map advantage, and they're playing all of their strong maps because Tiger has to pick into their strengths.
I don't know if going towards that Inferno for Vici straight away is probably the stronger choice, only because we've seen, even though on stats-wise, it doesn't look like Tiger's very good on Inferno.
Yes.
But we saw them yesterday. They are a very good, very solid Inferno team.
They played Tai Lu close, that is true.
That is a good point, but I think Vici's a bit of a different beast, especially in their current form. And the thing is, Vici almost always seems to back themselves on Inferno. That's why I say I think they're going to pick it here, because sometimes it looks like it shouldn't be necessarily the perfect map for them to pick, but they almost always do tend to go for it. So enough talk. Let's see what they end up deciding here. It'll be indeed Inferno from Vici
Inferno,
and Train.
Overpass Nuke.
So that's not a huge surprise. You'd probably expect the overpass pick here from Vici, but how much do they actually back themselves on that map? It seems not very much, actually, because they've gone for Mirage. So that for me was kind of the thought process. It's like,
Oh, they came up, right.
yeah, we've seen time and time again Vici angling away from overpass, even though it seems like it should be the map that they want to pick. And again, they've gone for, you know, a choice that isn't obviously overpass. Between overpass and Nuke, Tiger's always going to
They have
Nuke.
put a lot of work on Mirage as well.
Their
but
Mirage is Pog.
Their Mirage is good. That is
Pog.
true. But I don't know. Is it better than the overpass? Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say, right?
Oh, well, I think it is. You know, their overpass is shaky as anything. You saw Tyloo stomp them a couple of times last couple of times they played.
They've started winning it.
I think that's a long time ago, though.
They've started
right?
winning it now. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think it matters, to be honest, if I have to go out there and say it. I've got Inferno definitely going to Vici here. I've probably got Train going to Tiger.
I think
but
yeah, honestly, Overpass, I think, is the stronger map pool overall. But at the end of the day, I agree with you that I don't think it really matters because, you know, Train and Nuke are two maps that we associate synonymously with Vici Gaming, and Tiger's had to pick both of them in this series.
Well, we're going to have to get into our predictions in just a little bit. First, we'll take a short break, then we'll be diving into the grand final of DreamHack Masters Winter Asia. Don't go too far away. welcome back to DreamHack Masters Winter, where we've been discussing the grand final for Asia. It's going to be Vici Gaming up against Tiger, and I do feel as though there was a bit of a dissenting opinion across the desk. We didn't necessarily agree on everything, so I'm interested to know what your predictions will be. Yeah, I mean,
the echo chamber's broken.
it's good, to be honest. So,
Hey, I am the breaker.
well,
Hey, Breaker.
unfortunately, Mac, your prediction is wrong. I can tell you that much already.
Well, yeah, unfortunately.
But,
Yeah.
okay, tell me what
I
your
think
prediction actually was.
technically in the pick'em between Vici Gaming and Tiger, all of us are wrong.
That's true.
you think
That's
about
true.
it.
In this respect, yes. I've gone for Vici Gaming. What about you, Pilski?
I've also gone for Vici Gaming.
And Mac?
We've gone for Vici Gaming.
No, you haven't, mate.
No, I went for Tiger, but I'm not super confident after seeing how the vetoes played out. So,
Look,
I would like to be, you know, everything you guys were saying in terms of the maps going into the break, I was kind of like hesitant towards, but then, you know, I just feel like Vici's structure has been so much better lately.
what about after that huddle?
That's something different.
Yeah.
That's the boys banded together.
Look, I
getting
will
ready.
say, Mac, if Tiger win this grand final, they will have beaten Vici on all of their best maps, and you cannot argue with that. At that point, you deserve to win.
Yeah, absolutely. But will they actually beat Vici on all of these maps? That's the real question. I certainly don't think so. I've thrown my lot in with Vici, as I have so many times before. But at least this time I feel confident in doing so, you know, instead of them going up against Tai Lu and it being a bit more of the out there pick.
Well, not a whole lot going on at the moment. Tiger just sitting around T stairs, getting their round started. May have been a little bit late out of the huddle there, is my guess. Either way, 3 players at the top of B ready to contest Tiger if they try to take this banana control. Double nade already ready. Allman and Advent just send it. That is so much damage. Almost 3 of them dead straight away. That is not a great way to start.
Certainly not, but that is the power of Vici Gaming. They're always thinking about the game. They've probably looked at Tiger's pistol rounds on Inferno and thought, there's an opening we might be able to exploit. Fang a couple nades into Banana and see what happens. And, well, Tiger will see what happens. They're going to have a difficult time of winning this round, but some sharp shots might be able to swing things back in their favor. Advent and Kaze are preventing any shenanigans, though, and they're holding on to the B-bomb site quite comfortably in the end. It's 9 that gets a double, but that's clearly not enough for Tiger. And Vici will start the grand final off with a pistol round win of their own.
Very strong start. Looking like they're already a bit ahead of the curve in that pistol. Knew exactly what was going on. Double nade perfectly positioned. Now it will be the force buyout from Tiger. Handful of Tech 9s, only 1 Deagle, which indicates this is probably going to be a bit more of an up-tempo strat. Maybe a carpets explode or something of that nature.
Well, Tiger, if they do make their way quickly through halls here, there's an opening. That opening is already closed as Jam Young comes in.
Footsteps were heard, actually, by Kaze and Jam Young, which prompts the rotation over from Zoking. There was a timing where Tiger could have hit that A site with only 2 players there, but it has been missed now.
Waiting for this contact, Kaze and Zoking. Gonna swing together. Timing of the nade is perfect onto Dobu. Kaze starting to soften up Tiger, but they managed to get the pick themselves, and they're deciding on where to go from here. If they can win this engagement in CT, there's a chance to just wrap it all the way back to B. But Orman shuts down Coolest for a moment. Cabal dancing dangerously at the pillar there. Wasn't even looking the right direction. And it's just a stalemate.
He's keeping these B rotations in check at the moment. Still copying some MP9 bullets here or there, but he's going to go for a bit of a charge. It's actually Dobu out with the bomb.
Oh, and no one to follow as well, so the trade potential is minimal. Smoke to Speedway 9 as well lurking. This is just getting picked apart at the moment for Tiger.
Great news for Vici, especially if they can keep the remaining 4 guns alive. Ryan's going to cause some problems in that department, but Jam Young will probably just be hiding now and letting the rest of the boys do the work. There's another good tag on to Advent, but oof, Jam Young, no hiding there. Orman does fall, so starting to get a little bit expensive for Vici. Not that the round will go the way of Tiger either way.
3 seconds. Surely just going to hold on to this MP9 and save for the next. Maybe you can drop someone his Tech 9. And Vici survived with 3 players, almost losing more than that, and things definitely got dicey. But Vici Gaming hold their nerve. Now into the anti-eco for them. A chance for them to build up their money a little.
Well, what does Tiger have in the back pocket for this round? Probably not much. There's a smoke for Cabal, but he's being sent first into brackets, so maybe won't end up even getting used. Luckily for him, Vici's holding back on the A site as opposed to forward. The rest of the boys will be able to follow suit. Really would love to see Cabal just drop that smoke in somewhere. Maybe utilize it to get into Arch or something like that, but it just seems like he wants to be the one leading on the front, and I can understand that because he's got the MP9, but I'm not sure that's going to work against Vici Gaming, who are looking more than prepared for this. Zoking grabs himself just the one frag for the round. It's his first for the map, but Vici Gaming are off to a very good start. Advent top fragging right now. He's a fragging IGL, Mac.
Easy for Advent.
Certainly is.
Well, first gun round now. And a bit of a bonus for Vici. They hold on to the majority of those Pharmacists and MP9s that were using in the anti-ecos. So that will have a bit of a impact on this round. Let's see how Tiger goes in their first gun round though. Had to play a fair bit of Inferno so far, just due to Tyloo picking it against them so far this tournament. 4 mollies used very quickly. 1 minute 40 into the round, and they're all gone except for Zokings. Mostly thrown towards T-stairs and top of middle, and not a lot of damage has been done to Tiger, and they haven't really stopped taking map control either. So a good start to the round for Tiger. And that is not a well-thrown smoke by Advent. It's gone out of the map. That is not what she was looking for there. A lot of wasted utility by Vici Gaming. Very uncharacteristic, actually.
Got a bingo square here that says Dobu gets a 30 bomb. So we're not off to a good start, but if he can get one, that'll probably be translated into a map win for Tiger, I would think. Jamyoung's looking pretty crisp today, though. Some of these shots that he's been able to hit so far. I know he's only got 3 kills, but very nice couple in the last round that I've seen. Coolest newer player in this Tiger roster does run one down on Vici. And the rest of Tiger will start to work their way into B. It's not a bad place to find themselves, but Coolers should drop. It's an awkward angel for Orman, who had to shoot at the pillar for a little while. Advent went 1 for 1 on B. That's enough to keep the advantage there with Vici. Orman doesn't know that rate is as low as he is, but still confident in taking that peak when the flash is thrown in. Unfortunately, it's not rate to face him. It'll be 9, who's quite healthy, but this grenade could cause problems. Not so. Jamyoung very tentative because he's low on HP. Leaves the rest of the job to Zoking, who will go charging on in from construction. One player remains on the site, but Zoking falls off coffins at the worst possible time, and 9 takes advantage of that. Tiger have their first round of the grand final.
Chiming in just before Vici managed to string too many together. So just like that, the economy as well takes a huge hit from Vici, but they will still be able to buy up completely into round 5. Tiger, the same cannot be said. Galil's 3 of them in the hands of them.
It comes down to a 1v1. That's going to be rough for Tiger. And this is a lot harder of a round than the previous when they were up against a handful of MP9s and Famases. They got the AWP out for Kaze. 4 rifles. King's ready at bracket here to try to fight in tandem with Jamyoung. Seeming like Tiger are having very little trouble taking banana control, but they have already lost a player so far. So they're going to have to try to make this 4v5 work for themselves. They already have banana control, so maybe that will trend them in the direction of going for a B hit.
Well, that's where Kaze is. And that's going to be way too easy of a frag for him. Can't just walk around the corner like that and expect Kaze to miss that shot. He's not one of those AWPers that's going to miss the sitter. I don't think. I don't get that sense from him.
Bomb only now just being retrieved from T-spawn. Tiger need to get a move on. Does seem like they still want to go back towards B. Smoke for CT and a handful of flashes to try to get into the site, but it's going to be difficult. Double back site setup.
Flash in, full timing, but the CT setup is a little bit too strong. Well, the aim certainly on point today from Vici, dancing around and just looking to be as much of a nuisance as possible. 4 seconds to plant, and this one's over for Tiger, unless Nine taps it, no time to win. The flood onto the site from Vici is the perfect choice, the perfect call. And another round for Vici as 3 survive at the end, so economy will not be broken. Tiger just couldn't do enough work in round 5.
Advent's 8-3. He's really turned his individual game around in the last couple of tournaments.
I told you.
Yeah, he's been insane, actually.
I was the biggest Advent fan on the desk.
Mate, that's like calling me the biggest Ormond fan on the desk.
He's never been above 10 kills a game in his life. And I said, look, Pilsky, why are you trying to put him down like that?
I think that was actually me, in fairness. But he didn't frag very well for 3/4 of 2020.
It's true.
But these last 2 tournaments, Beijing and DreamHack Masters Winter, he's been up there, honestly, with the rest of them.
Listen, it is my job as a Counter-Strike analyst, but I have noticed, actually, that Advent, when he's fragging, Vici Gaming, they're winning.
What? Yes, it's crazy, right? And he's doing that again today when it matters in the granny.
You know what I want to know, while we do have a pistol round here, Tiger,
Tell me.
is why did Vici get the first map pick in this grand final?
Where'd that man come from?
I don't know. Renegades got the map pick.
Seeding.
Maybe the seeding. Yep.
Seeding.
So they get a map? No, because Renegades
Seeding.
was... But
we've asked this
Renegades
to
was the highest seeded
to
team.
Turtle. The highest seed still gets the choice in
Vici
videos.
is the highest seed. So seeding does matter in a grand final.
Yep. Even if you're the underdog.
There
Yes,
you go.
you get the map advantage, but you do not necessarily get to...
pick the first map, which is, it's really rough then if you're a team that's trying to make the lower bracket run and you're not the higher seed. You know, obviously that's not the case for Order, but for Tiger in this instance, going against Vici, they essentially have to play from 2-0 down, with the assumption being that the team should win their own map choice. Which, I mean, Vici's doing a pretty good job of at the moment. That's nice.
Whew, see you later.
Not sure it's going to hurt Vici all that much, though. Lose an extra gun. Zoking. I mean, he's like, why have you done that? He's on my bingo card. I need him to top frag a map. That's not helping at all.
No, it sends him in the wrong direction, doesn't it? You know, you get that kill on your teammate and then that score, you lose 1 on it for the kills.
Yes.
Blood sacrifice, though, for the round. Ormond, happily going
Unless,
down.
maybe, what if we just count that as 2 kills instead? Because it technically is 2 kills.
No.
No.
He's on 7 kills as far as I'm concerned.
Nope.
Ormond's top fragging the ADR, so I guess he's got that going for him.
Ormond's been really good. I think it's been a massive resurgence from Ormond and Advent that has kind of heralded the comeback from Vici.
Yep.
It's funny that, because they were 2 of the weakest fraggers on the roster.
We were like, earlier this year, we were like, which one are we kicking?
I was saying it's got to be Zoking, Ormond, or Advent. At least one of them's got to go.
Never had a problem with them, myself. I always knew that they were going to bring it back.
This is such a brown nose, mate. You know that?
What do you mean?
They don't even watch this broadcast.
I just believe, don't they?
Oh, so
cool, it's
much
fine. Look, I'm on your
Molotov
page.
damage again from Vici Gaming. The triple molly to bottom mid and bottom of banana. Not the first time they've done that. And an HG nade on top of 9 as well. Luckily, he's got an AWP, so it's not going to bother him as much as someone who might be trying to run in with an AK later on. Smoke onto jungle side for Vici Gaming, and they will just go for a boost. Kaze being sent up, ready playing anti-flash, and probably get himself a freebie here, but needs to be careful they don't get sprayed through the smoke.
Kaze might have another opportunity to build up a few frags. And whoa, Through the flash, perfect timing. There goes Coolest. He's no longer taking any part in this round.
Hang on. Kaze has his arms folded in the player photos.
How's he shooting?
How's he held the ult?
Where'd the
Okay.
cool ones go?
I don't know, maybe new ones. Tiger, though. Again, a man disadvantage will try to force their way into the B side here, Mac. Nope.
Maybe
It's,
not.
throwing 2 smokes into B and then trying to run into A. Who's got U-tilt? Jam Young's got a counter flash. Kaze is a B. Oh, off angle from Zoking. I'm kind of wondering what Tiger's doing here.
Mid-round call, hoping that they could have drawn the rotations, but Vici, nothing to really draw them off of the A site.
The calling is definitely not looking as top-notch as yesterday against Tai Lu. And Dobu is also going missing in the server. This is the opposite of a win condition from Tiger, considering yesterday Dobu was absolutely dominating, and also the calls were on point for Tiger.
Dobunating.
That's what you got from that. That's what you took from that, really. Okay.
Well, Pilski, all I'm going to say is you were the one who made an ends pun when I said who ends up winning. And you said who ends up.
I can't believe you're still hanging on to that. That was ages ago.
It was probably the worst thing you've ever done.
It was the worst pun I've ever heard on a Counter-Strike broadcast.
Well, you said dominating.
Dobunating.
That pretty much calls for a Dobby cast.
No, thank you. I don't think Dobu would very much appreciate that, but Zoking
has given Dobby a shock.
may also not be feeling too comfortable after having his head, you know, deagled. Happens.
The Eagles.
I don't want your sock, Mac. It stinks.
It does,
Get that away
actually.
from
I
me.
only got a very brief whiff.
Oh, it's alright, just a little bit Lockfoot.
Was that the one you stepped in pee with the other day?
No.
It kind of smells like it, that's all. But maybe that's just your foot fungus.
Yep. Well, there's only Allman on the B site here. He's playing retake towards... Okay, never mind. Forget about... He's not playing Counter-Strike anymore. Thanks to Rate. Bomb goes down. This is winnable, Jordan.
Is it, though?
Yes?
For who?
Teams, I guess. Both teams.
All right, good. Vici are letting that timer tick down quite a lot.
Maybe a
Smoke's
mistake.
gonna go in. They're going to have to be quick here, but Jam Young is quick. He's lightning fast. He's
Whoa!
got a good shot there, actually, from Advent to help him out.
Look at that movement.
Boy?
Brother. Look at that movement, brother.
Movement. Boy?
Nah, look at that movement, brother.
True.
7-1 for Vici Gaming right now, and they are cruising along on Inferno.
I'm going to need a tack pause out of Tiger. I'm going to need Dobu to go to the bathroom and wash his face.
Wait. We actually didn't do a push-up bet for this this game. So here's my offer to you, Mac. Double or nothing.
Nah, I'm not
But
feeling
negative.
that not feeling that confident about this one.
Okay.
No. Listen.
Tack
Pilsy
pause.
and I will double your push-ups from the first series.
No,
If
nah.
Tiger wins, which would be 200 each.
And what do I do if I lose?
If
I
you lose,
I love
you
how
have to double yours.
you're making this bet when Vici's up 7-1.
Well, I would have made the same bet
Quite convenient, isn't it?
anyway.
The
Well,
odds-
I'm just trying to...
The odds have changed, Jordan.
I'm just trying... Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tantalize you. Okay, what about Pilsk and I do
I love how part of this is just
500
from.
total? That's 250 each.
Very confident.
What?
And how
push-ups
many's
if
Mac
Tiger
gotta do?
wins. But Mac has to do... how many does Mac have to do if Vici wins? Well, you've already got your 100 from order, so let's just tack another 100 on. So that'll make 200 total. So
I'm
you
not
have
an
the
idiot.
possibility of making us do 250 each.
I'm not a gambling man.
There's a
Oh,
game
damn.
going on, boys.
There
Tiger
is.
took attack pause, and they need to win a gun round. Double nade is so good. Once again, 9 has just been getting bullied by the HE nades this game. How much HE damage has this man taken? How much can a man take? I think 9's testing the limits of that. Cabal putting utility pressure over towards A, threatening the jungle wrap, and in comes this B hit.
Well, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Might not be the case for 9 right now because he's down on 51 HP. And Vici are doing a good job again of holding the B-bomb site. Advent is the one that's kind of baiting Orman, which is funny enough.
Why not? He's 11-3.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sharp.
He's unreal. Who's on Advent's PC?
Advent.
Jam Young's playing on Advent's PC.
Yeah, and before you find out that they've actually just jumped on the wrong PCs today, you know, after their huddles.
You guys are so toxic. He's sharp. Leave him alone.
He is sharp.
I'm on the sharp side of things. What do you mean?
Maybe it's just his time of year, you know, because like, you've ever heard of an Advent calendar that happens in December? Advent dropping 12 frags against Tiger. That's happening in December. It's all coming together.
It's Christmas come early.
Most definitely.
Another buy for Tiger. Another day, another first pick lost. It's really not looking great for him so far, lads. Every round, Tiger is just getting grenaded, losing the first pick, running through a brick wall.
Well, this is the danger of playing Vici on Inferno. You know, I think we'll see a very different looking game when it does get to train, but that is also with the context that Vici would have probably already won Inferno and have a huge amount of momentum going into train. So maybe I will retract that just a little bit. Kaze's seen a player jump across. 9, I don't think he even did see Kaze. Otherwise, Kaze should be dead. But he's not. And now it's 9 left alone against 4 Vici Gaming players. Kaze's killed Zoking for some reason. He's just like, all right, well, you did it to Orman earlier on, so stitch that, mate. Why is that happening?
Why not? They're so far
Was he just
ahead.
running and he just shot with the AWP?
I think they're just so far ahead at this point that it just doesn't even matter, Mac.
Do we have a replay of that from Kaze's POV? Love to see it if we do.
Another tack timeout from Tiger. I don't know what the answer is at this point. Do we need to get the dog from D13 house to come around for a quick pat, get the spirits up nice and high?
I think we just need to start thinking about train if we're Tiger. Let's just put this one in the bin. That's fine.
Jesus.
Honestly, train's the map that they're going to win anyways.
Are they?
What? There wasn't even anyone there. There wasn't even anyone there.
But Zoki was getting excited.
It's like me and my puppy. You know, I go, ooh, do you want this? You want that? You want that? And it's a toilet roll. And he's so excited.
I do that with my puppy, but it's nothing.
And he gets excited.
She gets excited. She does.
In your case.
Oh, okay. Mid-push is punished. This is more like it from Tiger.
A little bit of a response, but they do still have to deal with Jam Young, and he's tucked himself into Graveyard. He's too high. They didn't spot him, though. Still, he only gets the 1. That's okay.
Well, it's a good way to win a round for Tiger. Punish the mid-push. They're going to double their rounds. But that is not Tiger necessarily going out there and earning themselves a round as much as it is Tiger defending Vici Gaming, trying to do something different to what has been winning them this game. So until we see Tiger get out there and win some more default rounds, I'm not going to get filled with confidence on this T side of Inferno.
No, nor am
Plus,
I.
they were going to the other side of the map from Advent.
Yeah, Advent's just going to start fragging. He's going to get sick of it. He's going to push down Banana.
Races somebody. Why isn't Advent top fracky on there?
What?
Bingo card.
There is actually a bingo square that I think says Advent gets less than 10 kills in a map.
Not happening.
Not this time.
Don't think so. Bad luck for whoever got that one.
I don't have that one on my one. I got Dobu gets a 30 bomb though.
Oh, that's not looking great either.
Yeah. Also got Zoking the highest fragger. He's 4 away.
Great nade again. How many 40+ damage nades from Vici Gaming? Either way, Tiger straight up into bracket.
Oh, yes!
He flashed the spray down.
That's what we want.
Spray down.
That's what we want to see. Get one more. No, Jam Young.
Let's go, Zoking. Let's go. Let's go, Zoking. Let's go. Bias casting. Let's go.
Very biased.
A little bit biased,
Oh, a little bit biased.
Well, you got to back him while he's high, right? Like,
Hey, he's very sober right now, mate.
Well,
this is a serious grand final.
Zoking hasn't quite overtaken Advent just yet. But he's going to have not too many rounds left to do that, I'd say, because this will be Vici up to 10. 10 rounds already. This is just... This grand final is being blitzed through by Vici. They're kind of speedrunning it.
That'll be the second speed round grand final today.
They're kind of sick of it, I'm sure. They've played so many grand finals that they've gone to very, very close scorelines against Tai Lu. And they think, great, Tai Lu's out of the picture. Thanks very much, Tiger. Here is your reward.
I
Second
kind of
place.
wonder if Tai Lu didn't exist, if Vici Gaming would have just 10-0 this year as well, like Renegades.
That's what I was saying. I think that might have actually been the case if they didn't have those mental blockers against Tai Lu. Vici had the players to do it. They had the tenure. You know, they've been together as a roster for a while now. And there wasn't realistically anyone else in the region that Vici couldn't beat on a very consistent basis. Tiger was the only other one that ever really troubled them. There was 1 or 2 series against Invictus as well during the middle of the year where we thought, ooh, that wasn't great. But those were very isolated incidents, the Tiger and Invictus ones. And it's really only been Tai Lu that they've lost to more than, I'd say, 2 or 3 series this year. So I do think that Vici might well have done that, but hey, 2021 might be their year if they can get their visas sorted. That's the more important factor, I guess, for Vici, considering things will be probably opening up a little bit next year. And they gave a couple of opportunities to Tai Lu when they were actually earned by Vici, just because Vici couldn't go.
Well, it's interesting because if you saw those qualifiers starting to spring up after Tai Lu's had a dominating run of form and Vici's just a better team, like, I don't even know what to say about that. It's like, you were the best team in Asia in the COVID period when there wasn't really a whole lot of opportunities going around. But then if another team is rising up in form at the time when there's actually some tournaments to go to, that's just feels bad. Either way, Tiger, again, man disadvantage. Going to go to the B site. Kaze's on the line. Advent's got a counter flash. We know how this one goes.
Yeah, 33 seconds left in the round. Kaze is going to be well prepared for this one. And Advent will be actually holding on for the moment. He was kind of just prepared to peek. Now it's on to Kaze alone just as the smoke fades. But he gets flashed and 9 will take him down. That's enough work done by the B defenders to make Vici feel pretty confident about this retake. And that nade looks like it'll sail right through onto 9's position. Very good toss from Jam Young. And he continues to impress. So a 2-on-3. Soaking's low on HP, so he'll be boosting Orman up onto the flower pots. 9 ready and waiting. Hasn't moved. And Jam Young sets himself on the line, but 9's too good right now. That's a little bit more like it. 9 back in action, and that was the 9 that we saw in the first series against Tai Lu. I don't think we quite got that from him yesterday, but there were so many rounds like that where 9 just took it away from Tai Lu, and if he can bring that kind of form against Tiger, look at him stepping up. And I should say against Vici, not against Tiger. He's for Tiger, but look at him stepping up. The rest of the team really struggling, but 9 today seems to be giving them a little bit of a chance.
Stops a lot of damage trying to do a Zaiwu impression up banana. Kaze goes from 100 to 0 inside of a Molotov. Not where you want to be. So a one-man advantage here for Tiger. And actually winning this round would give them a 5th most likely. Vici Gaming's money is absolutely shot here. Very limited util for them to work with. And I'm liking Tiger's approach. Smoke into CT on B to keep those rotations honest. Orman's shifting over with the AWP. Advent smokes it off and goes back towards A. Tiger did flash onto the line toward bracket. So they've limited Vici's info.
It's Orman with an AWP over toward B.
Orpman.
Oh, man. Tiger in trouble.
Well, we've seen Orman with the AWP a little bit lately. And he's not too shabby. Certainly wouldn't say he's a superstar AWP or anything like that, but he can hold his own.
Can he hold B all on his own?
Doesn't need to. Just gets that equalizing frag and backs off. Fortunately for Vici, Jam Young has fallen prey to the lurk, and Tiger are starting to come into their own. It's maybe a bit too little too late in the half, but if they can salvage 5, it's definitely something to play with. And that's a really nice round.
Yes, that is the difference maker there. Vici's broke. Have to go down to those pistols and armor. A little bit of util. And I think 9's done just enough to keep this half as competitive as it could be, considering the circumstances. Tiger really did not get off to a great start this game.
No. Vici really looking like they ran away with the half early on. And 5 should be enough to make this competitive in the second. We know that Tiger have a very solid CT side. And of course, Vici, a lot of the times do struggle when they do move to the offense. So the second half will be a different affair.
They've been better of late on the T side, though, thinking back to some of their games against Tyloo. But Kaze's not able to double down with the Deagle. So hold that thought for a moment. Retake's going to be quite difficult for Vici here. They do have some util to play with, but no guns, unless Zoking with a 5-7. Can it happen again? Can it happen again, fellas?
Nah.
He's so good with the gun. Waiting for Ormond to line up the smoke. Problem is, he's the one with the flashes, so he'll be sending Advent and Ormond in more likely than not. And it won't be Advent anymore, it'll be just Ormond. Zoking not able to get so much done, and Tiger will secure 5. So they salvage something at the end of the half. It's definitely Vici that have their noses in front on Inferno, but Tiger keeping it interesting.
What another borderline.
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters Winter. Tiger barely eking out 5 rounds at the end of that first half of Inferno, mostly thanks to some heroics from 9. Let's see how they go in the second half. CT side might be a little easy for them, especially if they can get this pistol here, Mac.
Let's see how they play this one. 4 towards A, looking to, I guess, punish Vici if they go up mid, which they're not going to. Happily just holding their control of Banana. Cabal throws a deep nade, which gets some small amount of cheap damage.
Just the one nade set for Vici. Just Advent. See where he chooses to go at the end of the day. Vici Gaming almost running a bit of a default. Clearing out Banana, clearing out carpets. And now they're heading back to middle. And that is not a good idea with the setup that Tiger has right here, Mac.
No, it certainly is not. Let's see how effective this utility is used. Dropping out, it's going to be at least a CT spotted, but that is not going to change a thing. Vici continue to fight their own fight, and Jamyoung does it almost all himself. 3 kills, and the site has been found. Advent planting 4 pit hit. As Cabal's going to be left last alive. Smoke and a flash to work with. Probably a kit. I think it's there on a dig.
Yep.
He will retrieve it.
To try to isolate one of these fights and maybe get a smoke on the bomb. Pit site crossfire looks pretty strong for Vici Gaming, though.
Certainly does. Neither of them have to show face, but that's the info they were looking for. Smoke goes down to pit instead, and he knows Advent somewhere on site. Cannot wrangle the headshot. Not yet. No tap. Jamyoung does not need to fight. And this is going to be the round 1 already. Cabal is running out of time.
Oh!
And unfortunately for him, he has none left in the clock. And that is going to be 11 for Vici. Solid T-side pistol to get over the line, just barely in the end. Great patience displayed by both the remaining players. And Tiger, unfortunately, off the back of a relatively decent hold at mid, it all just gets crumbled apart because Jamyoung is the best damn Glocker.
Do you see those mechanics as well? Just perfect stop and start on the strafing, hopping up on top of the balcony and not moving.
A lot of practice.
He's played this game before.
Many an hour, I would say.
Wonder how many.
Well, 5-man stack for Tiger. We do see them do this from time to time. However, this time it's going to be nade, a couple of flashes around the corner to send them into Banana.
This is how they won the game yesterday against Tyloo. It was just stacking sites with the pistols and hoping that Tyloo would come and attack that site. Oh, flash in, not working out too well for them. Orman is kind of just ripping them apart with the Mac-10.
That was it. He spotted them before the flash popped, ran back, knew that the flash was slowly and surely coming. Now, surely Vici are aware of the stack. They do not care too much. Cabal, he's been spotted. They know it wasn't the man. Over towards the coffins, and Vici hightail it out of there. Happy just to give up the Mac-10 to manage the bomb plant for some extra money on the board too. And now the crunch will slowly but surely come in. Jamyoung looking to farm up with the Mac-10. $600 kills on the menu. And he is not going to get either of them. Advent doing too much work. There is the frag in IGL. You know, plenty of those in China now.
Easy. No weak link for Vici Gaming here. All 5 of them showing up to this grand final, but haven't really been tested by Tiger outside of some big rounds from 9. Cool last on the AWP instead of Old Mate 9 this time. And not really a whole lot of util to work with here for Tiger. In fact, 3 grenades working for them at the 1 minute 40 mark is not where you want to be at all. That's a nice flashbang, but it's a 1-for-1. 3-man setup in carpets for Tiger. That is not something that is too common.
Creative.
Well, they're going to reroute back towards B. Kabbalah's on the line here from Coffins, but that's about it for Tiger. He's going to have to go pretty massive. Maybe try to find a frag through this Coffins smoke or try to find a pick and play retake from Ruins to try to set up for a 4-on-3 retake.
See how that goes. Oh, not very well at all. Orman with the read, and Coolest might not be able to escape. He does, and he spotted Orman on top of Orange's flash. Timing. Not going to favour Orman, who's still up there. Just on the offline, peeking straight into the line, and we're back to a 3-on-2. Tiger now looking to go for the retake. Advent just with that Mac 10 has a lot of work to do.
Does. No kit here for Tiger either, so they got to get a move on into the site, but the crossfire between Newbox and Coffins looks pretty strong, even with the Mac 10. So King's opened up the fragging.
Yeah, chip damage coming through. Flash is there, and so is Advent too. He wants to wrap around his Coolest, needs to try to fall back. The time again just ticking away. Vici find a 13th, and it looks like we could just be done before there's any momentum gained by Tiger in the second half.
A lot of one-sided grand finals today.
Mate, words just come in. Order losing both the CSGO and Valorant grand finals in the same day. That one leaves a deep scar.
Both 0-3 as well, I think. Puff by around the AWP for Coolest here. Oh, run boost missed as well.
Unfortunate for him.
Kaze was posted on the line. Might have been a bit of a blessing in disguise, to be honest.
Very true. Kaze hitting everything that runs in his crosshair today. Like he's going to get aggressive as well. Flashing Coolest off the line. As 9 does have a Zeus, and everyone...
Where's the bingo card?
With a bingo card starts to cheer.
Jordan's getting into it. Oh, he's seen him. Bait him in. Yes. If they want to hunt down the AWP.
Make this a reality.
Vici's running into a stack here. I was saying Vici's not going to be the ones to run into a pistol stack. Turns out they won't be.
Well, Jam Young's still here with the Mac 10. Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
Cross it off.
Cross them off your cards. Congratulations. Bingo! Yells Jordan off Sky Maze. Almost, not quite yet.
No,
okay.
not yet.
I just wanted to say.
One more.
What's the last one in that line?
Bomb diffuser doesn't get killed in smoke.
Oh, okay. Don't know if we've seen that yet.
Oh, this is looking dicey for Vici Gaming. They've lost 2 picks here. 4-on-3. Coolest has still got access to that AWP. Another kill through the smoke. Does go down, though.
Orman. The spray looked good for a couple, but it looks like Tiger are starting to cause the upset. Advent cannot fight back in the 1-on-4, and there you have it. Wow. Tiger win on pistols, carry 2 AWPs across into the next.
How do they keep doing it? They did it yesterday against Tyloo as well. They win with a handful of pistols. They pick up a rifle and 1 AWP. They already had an AWP saved over. That is fantastic for their economy.
And more importantly, they've done it before it's too late. Vici on 13.
That's true.
Not quite.
This kind of cooks Vici's money now. They're going to have to breeze through most of their money on that T side, whereas that should have been a money-building round. Instead, that's become a big spend for them. So if Tiger pick up this round and they do it cleanly, it's a complete role reversal. They're going to have the ability to grind this game back. No guarantees, though, because Tiger have not looked great in the gun rounds this series. It's one thing to win on the pistols when, you know, it's a bit of a weird round. You have to be grinding these default rounds back because it's what Vici thrives in. They execute something that Vici's been using a lot against Tiger. Dobu, 3-15, goes 1-for-1 there in towards jungle side, which is going to put a lot of pressure on the rotations as Kaze charges into CT spawn. But Vici not in a rush to go anywhere fast. Still trying to abuse the rotations for now. Jam Young still lurking around in carpets. Waiting for Tiger to make a mistake here.
Vici flirting with the idea of going for that B split. But with this position, you can see that the A-Wrap works just as well, but doesn't really rate now where the AK gets the reload off before the push comes out of balcony. 9 as well, just dancing around and will not win the fight, but Kaze rate goes down, and so do the dreams and hopes of Tiger in round 20. There it is, 14 on the board for Vici, because Tiger need to save these weapons.
That is such a well-structured play from Vici. Dear God, how is Jam Young that switched on to go back and check second mid? Like, who does that? But that is just, that gives me a bit of nerdgasms, to be honest, Mac, the way they played that round. They do that AE execute and they take the CT spawn control, they don't overcommit. And if you look at Tiger in that situation, that's a nightmare, man. You two are split up on each bomb site. You have no info, you have no idea if they're in CT wrapping, you have no idea if they're 4-man going back to Nana, you don't have any bracket control, you don't have any control of Banana. You're basically just sitting there, awaiting your fate. Vici can do anything that they want to you. They're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. With that, Vici go up 14-6. They do drop against the pistols, but that's why I said you got to win those gun rounds, man, because that is how impressive Vici Gaming looks in those gun rounds. Either way, Tiger has enough for yet another bite. They do win the utility exchange in towards Banana there. Kaze wanted to go aggressive and look for a pick, but was denied the opportunity. Aggression in carpets again. Don't see this too often, actually. The AWPer going down into the second mid line, down carpets. Not something that is too popular anymore.
Jam Young finding the opening frag in this round. And, you know, guys, while you've been having a bit of a chat over this game and I've been having my dinner, I feel like we might have been baited into thinking Tiger was a little better on Inferno than they actually are, just because of the amount of pistol rounds that they did win against Tyloo, for example.
I mean, I wasn't...
Yeah, I guess.
But
you've got a big brain. Anyways, Advent, didn't think he was this good, but seems to be having a great day. And Vici Gaming are into the B bomb site. 3-on-2 for the post plant once Vici does get this bomb down, which is an inevitability at this point.
3-on-2 for the retake here for Tiger. Going to have a real tough time of things, and they don't have the kit, so they should just turn tail and save, most likely. Couple of individuals for Tiger really going missing in this game, though. Not something you can afford when Vici is looking this solid. Not only in terms of the fragging, but just the overall strategy. They're not just looking like a better team in this grand final, they're looking like a much better team.
Largely to be expected, I think. You know, I want to give a lot of credit to Tiger. Beating Tyloo twice in the same tournament is no easy feat. But Vici is a different beast at the moment than what Tyloo is. That's not a great start for 9. You could see what he was trying to do, get aggressive into mid, maybe win that duel, give the advantage to Tiger.
Jam Young is just on another level, man.
There is nothing at this point that Tiger can do to stop Vici. They want this victory. They've got places to be, and they are closing it out cleanly. We're not even going to see it as too quick. 16-6 at the end, or 16-5 at the end. Whatever that was, I don't even know. They won. Big map coming out for Vici on their map pick as well, and they only need one more to close out the grand final. We're going to break this one down in the post-match. Don't go too far. We'll see you then.
Vici Gaming uncontested on map 1 as they got the 16-6 victory against Tiger, and that puts the Mongolian squad in a very precarious position, now being one map away from dropping the series against Vici and seeing Vici crowned back-to-back champions in Asian tournaments. It'll be DreamHack Masters Winter, which was followed obviously by the IEM Beijing result they had a little bit earlier on in the year, so it'll be a great finish to 2020 for Vici Gaming. And it's been a rough 2020 for Vici Gaming, so some of us on the desk here, we're quite happy to see them picking up the victory. But I'm sure there's plenty of fans in Mongolia that are tuning into this game that are going to be hoping for something to the contrary. Now, first we have to talk about Inferno there, then we'll get into a bit of a discussion about Train and maybe what the chances are for Tiger in the rest of this series. And I got to say, Vici looks like they've turned up to play today.
They definitely have. They completely picked Tiger apart. Some level of preparation and counter-stratting, but a lot of just very standard gameplay from Vici that we've seen from them time and time again, just working flawlessly right up against Tiger, who were very slow out of the gates. Not sure what happened at the start of that first half. It looked like they were a bit slow out of T spawn, right from the pistol, and from there they kind of just got ground down by Vici. Very little going for them apart from a couple clutch rounds from 9. A couple of individuals really going missing for Tiger. Not the level of performance that we were expecting from them. Yes, I expected Vici to win, but I expected Tiger to at least put up a fight.
Yeah, well, look, in that interview, Nine did say that they weren't feeling too much pressure, but I dare say from what we saw just there, maybe there are some nerves in the mix, and it's really hard as well. You know, it feels like their first grand final in a very, very long time as well, so yeah, they might be able to get it over the line with a big old reverse sweep, but from here it's going to be so hard. You know, Vici, I didn't expect it to be this one-sided on map number 1, and from what I'm seeing from Tiger, I'm just not convinced that it's going to change. And I'm even worried about Train now. With Vici performing like this, with everyone having solid performances, including Advent, you know, that is when Vici look their most dangerous.
Well, I think it's then prudent to start talking a little bit about Train here, Pilski. It's going to be map 2 in the series, although technically map 3. Tiger are down 0-2, and to be honest, there isn't really a better map for them to be going on. This is a map that they've beaten Tyloo twice on. They've played it against Vici as well, you know, so they've had some good performances on it in this tournament. But I am inclined to agree with what Max said, in that it feels like the momentum has shifted so far away from Tiger that it seems a nigh impossible task. Normally, this is map 1 in the series. Normally, Tiger gets to choose the first map. They choose the Train. They start to look pretty good there. You think, great, they've got a good start in the series and they might be able to roll on from there. But that's not the case anymore. So we have to see what level of mental fortitude Tiger has got. And in the interview, I think, was it with Nine or yesterday with Dobu, one of us asked about the mental fortitude, and they said it wasn't as good as what the previous Tiger roster did have, if you remember that. So all signs are pointing towards a Vici victory at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, they've lost a bit of that experience as well, which always helps you in the grand finals. End of the day, I think it's going to be almost impossible for Tiger to take it in this series, and particularly on Train. I mean, it's one of Vici's stronger maps. We keep forgetting that. We keep sort of brushing that aside. They've been very, very good on Train for quite a while. And not only that, they have watched Tiger pretty much lay all their cards out on the table just to beat Tyloo on Train 2 times in a row in this tournament. And that really doesn't lend yourself well when you've got a preparation-heavy team like Vici Gaming watching your every move.
Yeah, a team that has also had time as well, Mac, importantly. They didn't have to play yesterday, so they've had all of yesterday to chill out, relax, and get prepared for today.
And watch, you know, Train against Tyloo, which they beat them on twice, and figure out exactly what they were doing to beat Tyloo. However, of course, you know, Vici on Train is a whole different ball game to Tyloo on Train, you know. They come with utility. They come with a lot of structure and strategy. Yep. Tyloo, however, did look like they've obviously hit the homework, hit the books, and changed up something or two in the ranks going into Train. But again, you know, going into this, you got Kaze hitting everything today, and that is just scary.
Yeah, especially considering you have Orman, who can pick up that secondary AWP from time to time as well. He was feeling it a little bit on Inferno. Having a look back at Train and how the results have looked on this map for both teams, you know, it doesn't look too bad, statistically speaking, for Tiger. At least they're favored in that respect. But I have to say, from what we've seen, I would consider this Tiger's best map. So if they can't do it here, okay, obviously they're going to be out of the tournament. They're going to be out of the series. They'll lose 0-3. But this is their best chance, right? This map is the silver lining. They're down 0-2, but at the very least they get to go on to Train and they can play the match on their own terms.
Yes, I would agree with that. And I'm keen to see if they've got anything new prepared, or whether they'll show a high level of adaptability, because similar to what you saw from Tyloo the other day, they were actually playing a bit more of a strat-heavy style. They looked a bit more prepared the second time they played Tiger on Train, and if you don't remember, they actually set themselves up to win that map, but ended up dropping it in OT because Tiger were able to actually grind back a 13-15 deficit. So we will see if Tiger shows that same level of adaptability against another team who's undoubtedly prepared for them on this map, and a little stronger than their last.
It's going to be a little bit hard, and look, I want to use an analogy. It's kind of like, you know, a bit of a cold chip. You know, it could taste good, maybe if the atmosphere is right, if you're kind of feeling like a cold chip. But a lot of the time, you're not really feeling like a cold chip. And Vici, you're not really feeling like going up against a full form Vici. So I dare say you look like the cold chip. It's going to be thrown away. Tiger could be just getting thrown away in the series here too.
All right, and with that analogy, I think it's time for us to take a break. Vici Gaming right now 2-0 up over Tiger. And Tiger's desperately hoping that they're going to be able to do something when they come into map 3, which will be Train on the other side of this break.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters of Winter. 2 maps into the grand final of Asia, and we are starting to, it feels like, wind the year down here in Oceania and, of course, in Asia. We've just seen Renegades get the win over Order, marking their 10 from 10 streak.
How did I know he would do it?
What is he doing?
I knew he would wind it down.
I'm winding the window down.
Oh, that's
Just
a window.
Like the year.
I was wondering, what is this hand crank?
Oh, sorry, you probably got a new age
Yes,
car
does.
with the...
I have,
Ah.
as a professional esports caster, have an inflated salary, and, you know, esports pays the bills, as they say.
Yeah,
So
electric windows. Ooh,
electric
Mr.
windows.
Fancy over there.
let's just roll the windows down. Yeah, that really works, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh.
All right, anyway, so speaking of, we're winding down the year, as
Oh.
I dropped my pen. That's fine, but we're getting towards the end of the year. I mean, I feel like this is, you know, this is a sad moment. This might be the last map of Counter-Strike that we cast in 2020. Do you guys realize that?
It won't be for me.
For Counter-Strike?
No.
Oh, you guys have got something else yet.
Yep, something else.
Something
A
else.
bit of something else.
Bit of something else.
Yep.
Might be
But
for me.
that doesn't matter because, look, I just want to let everyone know at home, if you're ever going to play charades, invite me and not that man because
What?
you're not going to have any idea of what
is
he's trying to...
this?
Yeah. what's
You don't
this,
think you
guys?
don't put your windows down like that? How do you do it?
I usually like flat hand and just like one finger.
That's not a very out there kind of movement, so it's kind of hard to tell. If I was looking from a long way away,
I'm not saying
I wouldn't even
you
see
asked
what you're
me
doing.
what I do to wind down my window, and I did tell you. You didn't tell me
well,
what
in the
charade
context
would
of
be used.
charades, I don't think it's good. What do you
Okay.
think, Mac? You're the judge, I guess.
Mac would be the best at charades out of all of us.
No, he wouldn't.
Probably.
He's not even moving. Anyway,
You guys are not animated people.
I am.
I'm a very animated person. See? Look,
Yeah.
I've taught Pilsky everything he knows about hand signals and, you know, hand
And I
gestures
still am
while
just garbage.
doing all this.
It's garbage.
If you're wondering what
Yeah.
you're watching, you have actually tuned in to DreamHack Masters Winter, and we are at some point going to get underway with the grand final once again, but we're waiting for the server to be ready for us.
Oh, it's not ready.
It's not ready. Someone's taking their time getting into the server. Some of that VPN internet perhaps being part of the issue, I would imagine.
Let's reflect on some internet issues, some fun internet issues
Okay,
over
so
the years.
what was the best one that you've ever had?
Okay, I mean, Max, I know what Mac's favorite was.
Push-ups.
He's got to do his push-ups. Oh, he's already given up.
Oh, Max, okay, so context here is that Mac has got, how many push-ups? 100 to do?
It's
because-
100. 1,
Because Renegades
2,
won
3,
the grand final.
4, 5,
I'm sure he
6,
can count himself.
7.
I want you to tell me your best internet
Best internet. I will
problem.
go
Asian
for
CS internet problems.
probably MVP in ESL Pro League when their VPN wasn't working, and we had a tech pause for about half an hour to 40 minutes waiting to see if they could resolve, and then they decided that they would forfeit not only the map that they were playing, but also the rest of ESL Pro League. And we came back from the break and we said, thank you for waiting, keep going back. We didn't say that. We said thank you for waiting, but this team has decided to forfeit and isn't going to be playing in EPL anymore.
Funnily
And
enough,
they didn't get an invite after that.
mine
That
actually...
was not 100. There's no way that was 100.
That wasn't 100. How many was
He
that?
can't do
How many was
anymore.
that? 39, apparently.
Okay.
Could have at least got 40.
Still owing 61 to the push-up bank.
Okay. Funnily enough, my favorite story was featuring MVP as well. It was in a game against Mongols, and this was in Zen League.
Okay.
So that was a long time ago now. But we had the infamous server veto between Mongols and MVP.
The classic.
And I believe it ended up actually with Mongols forfeiting that game because they didn't want to play it at that point.
They didn't want to play it on that
MVP got
server.
the auto win that time. So that was a good time as well. Just seems to be something that continues to crop up in Asia.
My
Do you have one,
favourites-
Mac, or are you still catching your breath?
Mine was
Max was the MVP one, I think.
the MVP. Did you already talk about it?
Yeah.
I wasn't listening. I was just doing push-ups. So.
So I'll go for another one. Another favorite of mine was when Entity Gaming played in EPL, but they did a boot camp in Serbia, and they didn't go back to India to play EPL from Asia, but instead they said, oh, it's fine, we'll just play on 300 ping.
And how did that go?
Not well.
Not well.
They did not win a map.
Well, hopefully no issues like that tonight as we get underway with map 3 of the DreamHack Masters Winter Grand Final. It's Vici that are currently up 2-0, and Tiger need to turn this series around, but they've got their own map choice to do it on, and it is Tiger's best map, so hopeful that we're going to get more than a 3-0 tonight.
Of course, Dobu outside of T-Con, holding that Ivy and the T-Con push. I'm assuming Old Mate will be throwing a smoke for the boys toward inner. As well as Cabal, he does have a flash to throw out, as well as a smoke. He does just chuck the flash toward inner, though, as well as a decoy. And it does seem like it's going to be a straight out of SL onto the outside side.
Vici have it not rotated at all, so still 3 deep behind Green and Bomb, and this is looking decent for the moment. But that smoke will bloom. Orman finds one on transition. And Tiger looks like they might just secure this bomb plant. Spam comes straight through over the top. Actually, it was the boost up onto the boxes, so plentiful for Vici to make that retake happen, and no one will fall. That's going to be all 5 alive at the end for Vici, kicking things off with a bang on train.
Well, they picked up where they left off, didn't they? Tiger are having a very, very difficult night here. Not a single frag in that pistol round, so not even really much of a chance to get warmed up after they might have cooled down. That was a bit of an extended break. I'd say probably 15 minutes since we were last in the game. So if Tiger haven't been, keeping themselves prepared, things could be a little bit of a problem. Anyways, into round number 2. And it is going to be an investment from Tiger. They've got an AK to play with and a few Galils as well. Oh, workable, but man, Vici's nades have been on point today, haven't they?
They have. HE nades have been connecting pretty consistently on Inferno and now again on Train. Let's see if this force buy will have just as much success as the HE nades. They're going to be having to contest Jam Young, who's playing a close angle, which will not be affected by flashbangs most likely here. Nice little 2-man spray down for him as Tiger trying to pick up the pace and get onto that bomb site there. Being established, but both of the other lads, apart from Rate, are still in towards inners.
Ooh, nice retake util set, going to be thrown out by Vici. 3-man pop flash straight out of corner. Now they're looking to make this one work, but it's a 1-for-1 favouring Vici still. Rate going to be stuck on default for the moment, as there is all eyes on the prize. Kaze will win that somehow. And then Cabal falls as well. Great second round coming up from Vici. 3 alive at the end, and they'll be happy with that.
3 very nice guns to take through as well. All game 4 AK, so they're not taking any rubbish, no scouts, no MP9s or what have you into this next round. And this will be a good one for Vici to build a lot of that bank up. Soking is going to buy an MP9. Kaze will pick up the scout. But as long as they can keep those 3 rifles, Vici will be quite happy with the proceedings thus far, I would say. It's the Deagle armor for Rate. Nothing too much to speak to for the Tiger camp. They've got 2 players out on long, and the remaining 3 just defaulting across the rest of the map. Keeping an eye on T-Con, keeping an eye on the B site.
Trying to find some picks with the Deags. That's what it's all about. Keep that CT economy a little bit damaged. A few opportunities for Tiger on the Deags, but none of them completed just yet.
Not much to really say for Tiger so far. Found a couple of kills last round, but none this round.
Oof. I'm waiting until next round to see what Tiger are going to bring to the table. 9. Nice 1 dig at least to keep things a little bit costly. The second will be found, but now 9 will be left all on his little lonesome.
One more would be the difference maker in terms of the economy here for Vici.
Well, Zoking's coming behind. Should be a pretty easy cleanup for him. And he'll be able to upgrade his gun. I don't think
Pretty
so,
far away.
actually. No, he can't. He got a deagle. So they lost the AUG. Not ideal for Vici, but look, the MP9 is something that you can take into this round as well. Looks like it'll be in the hands of Advent, which is a little bit more true to form for what we've seen from Vici so far this year. But funnily enough, does Zoking only have a deagle?
I guess so. Drop the MP9 over. Want to go for a bit of a bonus and keep the money strong, but
That's
looking at Allman and Advent, I'm not sure they have the money to be able to buy all 5 of them across the board, and do have the AWP on Kaze. Either way, is what it is. 2 players still toward inner with a bit of utility to work with. Allman still has that smoke. Jamyoung still has a molly to be able to try to disrupt this execute coming in.
Zoking's got an M4 now.
Must have left it behind. 3 players on inners though, as Tiger try to force their way out. They take so much damage from utility. HE nade in there as well. Doesn't quite finish them off, but surely Jamyoung will.
Oh yeah, looking sharp as nails, as we do see Vici just fall back for now, looking to regroup and reestablish some control. Kaze just fully ready for Coolest to be trying to turn the tides, and now it's Dobu and Ray, 2 of the sharper players. But it's all up to Dobu to get it done on his lonesome. Has to ace to clutch it, and he's going to be stuck at the back of Pop. This is looking extremely unlikely. Great sound bait coming out from Advent there to allow some space for Zoking to swing in, and that's going to be a clean train so far for Vici. 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, the MP9 gets upgraded into an AK as well, so Vici are not losing too much cash at all. 5 kills for Tiger thus far in the map out of the 4 rounds that we've had. Life's getting a little bit difficult for them, I'd imagine. Kind of reminiscent of what we saw on Inferno.
Bomb plant does allow them a pretty good buy in this round though, so they're going to give it another crack. Quick smoke straight to Sandwich and E-Box from Tiger. But no respect from Vici. They push straight through them, get full info, take T-Connector with a whole bunch of nades, a triple nade stack, a Molotov into the back of T-Con. And now you see Jamyoung drops that smoke, buys time for the rotations. Allman's already over there. Now you're seeing Advent's lean over there as well. Again, it's going to be 3 players on this inner site as the inner's execute comes in, and Zoking's ready to just go for the fast flank straight up the ladder.
Love to see it from Zoking. Can be a very, very strong player on train. Allman holds it down with the AUG. Time and time again, we've seen that. Zoking's not even really going to be required, or maybe I've spoken too soon. He's working his way through and actually gives away his position. Cabal will still not be able to win the duel. So it's on to 9, aggression. And that's a good one-on-one to win, but it's not going to help him against Zoking, who is off to the races right now on train. 5-0, Vici are off to the races as well. It's been a great first half so far from them on the CT side. And what's even better, fellas, is Zoking, being the highest fragger on this map, would get us a bingo. Ooh. So we've been working really hard on the bingo sheet today.
The most important thing about the grand finals here, obviously.
Well, I'm just noticing Tiger going for these executes and Vici having the perfect read every time. 3 stacking the inner's bomb site twice in a row. Again, they're taking that T-Con control. Triple nading, that's the exact same T-Con take as last time, and now the smoke in to the backside of T-Con. What's the response from Tiger? They've been so worried about their own game plan that they haven't really been observing what Vici's been doing and trying to counter that. Cabal lucky to fall back there. Would have got that HE nade. Now Tiger getting ready to try to split their way on this outside site. A minute on the clock here. SL control not going to be contested at all. Zoking going to be totally fine there. Smoke onto dark side from Tiger. Molotov up Ivy as they try to creep up to start this push. Some smoke's flying over it as well. Kaze in sandwich with the AWP. Could do some real damage here.
Oh, how's the timing on this one? Advent might just perfectly find the timing. Manages to get one, but Tiger still with his two-man advantage now as Orman. Maybe holding, looking for that wall bang, and he'll get it, but a little bit too late. And even so, now Tiger can try to get to these post plants. Vici, more of a chance in the round as well.
Should be the first round for Tiger here. Time's ticking away pretty quickly, and Vici aren't really in a position to go for this retake with the util that they've got, and the fact that both their players aren't grouped together. So they'll let that one fall by the wayside. It's a start for Tiger. Definitely much more required.
Ooh, Orb snatched away. Right at the end there for Orman, so Vici will carry one over. But there you have it, Tiger. A T round on the board before it gets too late. We know usually on train they've been very solid on the attacking side to get as many rounds as possible. I'd say I've been more impressed with their T side usually than their CT.
Nice play from Tiger. Run a default into that outer split, even though a few things don't go well for them, they still end up closing the post plant. No T-con take this time for Vici Gaming, holding a bit more of their util in towards the mid to late round, but they still do just creep into T-con dry. Straight through a smoke, I think. Zoking and Advent have got full info over there, and Kaze now, instead of playing further up the train yard, is minding Ivy once again. The duel between him and 9 going to be critical. Of course, Kaze wins it.
Great performance on the AWP from him today. Will assert dominance and find that man advantage rate. Now starting to make a bit of noise over towards Ivy as the rest of Tiger group up and look to make a bit of a ruckus over towards this B site. Orman, however, over here.
Back into the 4-on-4. Right, it's going to be a big problem for Vici. And CT spawn. Jam Young doesn't care. Triple kill, and that is as easy as you're going to see it for him. He's such a good player. Probably the #1 player in the Asian region at the moment, and for that very reason, he makes it look so damn clean. Zoking steals the final one away from him, but I dare say Jam Young was on for the 4K in that round. And Vici get themselves a 6th as well. So Tiger not able to go back-to-back at all, and not really able to put too much pressure on Vici either, which is, I'd say, the bigger problem. How good does he look there?
Just as good as always.
Absolute faith that he's going to get all 3 there. It's too good, too good.
He looks expected.
Attack pause for Tiger. Love to see those solid performances from Jam Young in the anchor roles. It's where he does his best work. Tiger is really struggling to adapt so far on their T side of train. Feels like they're trying to run the same kind of game plans into the wall without really taking into account what Vici's been doing as much. Seen some adaptation from them. But for the most part, really relying on those inners hits and the defaults. When it's pretty clear Vici is quite comfortable playing against that kind of style.
I feel like this is Vici's dream matchup.
That was...
being able to read an opponent.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't had that that luxury for most of 2020, having to play the lower bracket game almost every time. That was sharp from Cabal. Goes dink for dink with the AWP. But there you go. Kind of goes to show, even if you are sharp enough to hit the shot, doesn't mean it's the right play.
You don't necessarily always get rewarded for it. Zoking's patiently waiting in the SL.
Ooh. Cabal even lucky he's got an assist there, or he could have been in James Bond's situation.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Dobu really thought that Zoking was going to back away because he threw the nade in, but Zoking called the bluff.
Not liking what I'm seeing from Tiger this round. Just 2 different players taking duels in certain parts of the map. No real feel of an overarching game plan contributing to this. just kind of looking for picks and hoping that it works out. At least they finally do peg one back there, Jordan.
Yeah, so going down isn't necessarily going to help Vici all that much.
Coolast is all the way out sandwich up Olaf towards Hell, and it doesn't look like his teammates had any idea that that was the go. I think Tiger's kind of coming apart at the seams right now.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Now Rate's running through a low ramp smoke trying to make a play. It's just player after player making a play in quick succession.
Oh, that molly just not hitting the ground at the right time. Rate, though, certainly will connect. And just in time, Tiger will get that bomb planted. Rate, though, going to be stuck on an island here at Oil. As the swing comes in, Jamyoung being so sharp on the rifle, and he's going to do it again. Now 9 left last alive, and a 1-on-3. He's already copped the bullet. Jamyoung happily just running towards him, being a nuisance, jumping around the other side. Comes in from behind. Beautiful retake, and a quick old defuse to get Vici over the line for another 7 rounds to 1 from Tiger.
Yeah, Jamyoung certainly playing a bit of a fearless style now as well, and I think that's going to be bad news for Tiger. If he starts to get flowing nicely, especially considering Zoking's also having a pretty good game, that might just be curtains for Tiger. I mean, to be honest, it already is looking like it'll be curtains for Tiger. Need to see them dig deep here. This is their map choice. We've seen some great stuff from them on train over the course of this week, but they're not showing up to the grand final against Vici at the moment. 7-1 the scoreline, favoring the CT side. Tiger in onto round number 9. Only have Tech-9s and some util to play with. A little bit of armor there as well. But look at who they're running at. It's Jamyoung again.
Ooh. He's already got the molly ready. He's got an HE to follow that up if he wants.
Lovely protocols there from him. Unfortunately, he's going to lose his head. Those Tech-9s a little bit too strong at close range. Coolest can't see a thing. As the swing starts to come into that Molotov, it's going to be a 1-for-1. Zoking falls to 9, and still Tiger hold this man advantage, but for how long? Not long is the answer. 9 goes straight down to the spam. Advent holds that trigger.
Tech-9s were where they got a lot of good work done against Tai Lu, and they've set themselves up nicely to try to win this round, but Dobu's going to have to be the difference maker up in an advanced position, but he can't do it. Orman's got it covered. And now the retake comes in. Orman hits another one. Cabal going to try and contest with the deal.
Well, he's looking for his first kill still, and he's not going to find it this time.
3K.
0 for 8 at the moment.
Can I just ask, does that count as a bomb diffuser doesn't get killed in the smoke? Because he was diffusing in the smoke and he didn't get killed.
Ooh,
No.
okay, hold on.
Hang on, can we get a...
League Ops?
League Ops clarification, please? Clarification says apparently there has to be one person on the other team, but it doesn't actually say that on the bingo square. So I'm just kind of feeling like maybe we've just been gypped out of a bingo.
We're moving the goalposts, are we?
Yeah. Okay. It's typical of League Ops, who have actually rigged the bingo as well. But anyway, that's fine. I'm not mad.
Oh, the T-Con taken. There's actually a player in there. The nade stack.
Oh,
They've done it 3 times. There hasn't been a Tiger player in there before. Unfortunately, Coolast was the first victim of that beautiful take that I've seen a couple of times from Vici Gaming so far. Now, a 4-on-5 for Tiger. Not a situation they're unfamiliar with so far in this series, Mac.
Great, ready to drop that pop flash, which is going to miss the mark to Zoking at least. Smoke goes down to the side of Blue. Dobu just waiting for Advent to go for the repeat, but he will not get too ambitious this time. Orman with the cover all the way from Ivy to Ladder. Will pick up that kill as well, and everything starts to get that little bit more dangerous now. Still Vici with that one-man advantage though. 50 seconds on the clock, so Tiger still some time to change up how they're going to play this one, but Orman lurking in behind them at T-Con. He's going to find the first spots, the others running towards him, and that's all the information in the world. Flashes back in, and just playing with his food right now. 2-man advantage, starts to run away, doesn't want to get caught too quickly. Look at the wallbang.
Trying to wallbang them in T-Con. Does get the leg onto Rate, who will go and grab the AWP after he's taken that leg. Wants to try to have that one-shot potential as he makes his way back towards SL. They want to try to lock down these long angles of sight, but that's where Kaze does his best work, and Advent as well, looking sharp as ever. A 1B to close the round out. 9-1 for Vici.
Cannot fault them right now.
No.
No cracks in the defense. A stock standard train CT side. Exactly what you would expect.
Oh, it's it's so much better than stock standard, Mac. That is such a sad definition. Have you
What?
seen those T-con takes? Who else you seen doing that?
When I say stock standard, I mean you're coming in to train. You
Oh
know,
no.
Historically, you expect that CT side to be getting the 10, 11, 12 rounds, and Vici, they're doing that. Something we haven't seen for so long. Usually train these days, almost more rounds have been found on the T side than that defense.
Maybe so. That Kaze. Guy's pretty good at train, I think. Some pretty nice shots. This round. Say it doesn't really utter.
Talk about the war.
Complete opposite of that.
They would have beaten Tyloo. At least once in this tournament, whether it was for the push from Tiger. This is a big crossfire setup for Vici.
Yeah, Tiger's slowing this one down. Round plays that we know him for.
Kaze nets himself another frag.
Or boom with Voxy stickers. That's some 2013-ish right there.
Wow.